Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel the Tige. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's gonna clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's gonna open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is gonna protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is gonna make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Tige has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night.
And because Tige is sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description to get 30% off your first skincare system and a free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. By the way, both gifts you're choosing from are a $20 value and a complete game changer. A silicone body scrubber or a nail and face grooming kit. Personally, I prefer the silicone body scrubber. I don't like using towels when I travel, so the body scrubber is an excellent way to open up the pores and get the body clean. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
Maintaining your beard isn't just style, it's self-respect. A well-grown beard boosts confidence and leaves a lasting impression. Elevate your look. Embrace the importance of beard care today.
Going on, family? Welcome to King Talk. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Mr. Shannon Walls, Sweeney, Darwin, Trav Smooth, Luis, and White, Kenny P, Pink, and myself, and Lapeef JL. Welcome to King Talk. What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? How y'all doing?
How y'all been, fellas? How y'all been?
Blessed.
What's happening, fellas?
It's good to be here, man. Good to see you, gentlemen, man. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday already. I feel like the week is flying by. At least Monday did. Go ahead and get the housekeeping out the way. Get the housekeeping out the way, man. Shout out to the sponsor, T. Hanley. T. Hanley, uncomplicated skincare for men. You know, so they got everything, man. They got the cleanser, the moisturizer, detoxing. Yeah, the things that hydrate, improving the skin. Nothing but skincare. You get 40% off along with a free gift, and you also get 20% off for life if you become a member. So click that link that's in the description. Feel the teach. We also have something for the beards. This is for the gentlemen. Assure Man King on top. This right here will get your beard in order. You're looking for that shine, looking for that softness. This is the way to go. That link is also in the description, man. I look forward to my system that I have morning and night. Service purpose, man. I was looking a little bit not lined and not groomed on Sunday, man, but I had to go ahead and take care of that. And when I definitely got done with that, I put that Teach on and also that Assure Man. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Shout out to the chat. I see you, Bethany, Erica BZ. Stout Fitness. If you want to become part of Green Gang, that link is also in the description. We got an excellent show ahead for you guys. You good, Shan? Good? Yeah, I know LA turned up now, man. I got a lot of good things happening over there. I seen 50 Cent went to Canada, was acting a fool, huh? Yeah.
Did I send you that one I caught at the end of the video about the owl in the cage and that the reference to I know why the cage bird sing? Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
All right. The infamous one, I see you. Shannon Duncan, what's going on, brother? All right, so we got the impact of social media and activism on women's happiness. Before we do, I got an icebreaker, which is somewhat, it's not related to what we're going to talk about, man, but we're going to go deep with this discussion. I'm looking forward to hearing the perspectives. Let's make sure we be respectful, as always. But we're going to talk about Angela Simmons. We're going to talk about Angela Simmons. You guys seen her little ad she did with Slutty Vegan? Anybody? I should have known Shannon was on it, man. Shannon got all the tea. But Angela Simmons, she announced her first slugging vegan collaboration in an off-the-wall manner that has social media buzz. On Tuesday, Angela Cake's founder unveiled her first dessert on the Slutty Vegan menu, fried Oreos, but with an odd twist. On Instagram, a 36-year-old posted a video and picture of herself in a bath filled with Oreos, which intrigued fans less than 2 weeks after she brought a gun-shaped clutch to the 2024 BET Awards. While some criticized Simmons for her fried Oreos campaign, she got the support of actress-singer Keke Palmer in the comment section. So after she put this post up and the ad ran, I know some of you guys are probably Googling, but I will play the video and I will put the pictures up. But she got criticized heavily. Just curious, the gentleman on the panel, do you guys find Angela Simmons attractive? No? You don't, Shan? From what I remember, she thick, right?
It's her voice.
I mean,
it's her voice, man. Her voice kills it for me. Her voice kills it for me. She sounds like Kermit the Frog or something, man. I can't do it.
Who is Angela Simmons?
Like, she's not a bad looking chick, but her voice is the worst.
She's Russell Simmons' daughter.
Oh. Huh.
Okay.
Hence the name.
I like ass. I like thick women, so
You like thick women, okay?
I haven't seen her recently, so I don't know. I do like women with curves. I appreciate curves. Not gonna lie.
Okay. All right. So after she put this ad up, the way these people are hating, this is what Keke Palmer said. The way these people are hating in your comments is something vicious. I'm so blown back, Palmer wrote. Just know you're doing everything right. I have never seen people so pressed. Woo. So these are some of the comments that were put up there. Men who are struggling to quit watching porn should save pictures of Angela Simmons for when they get the urge. Angela Simmons is a beautiful woman, but goddamn, she ain't corny. I don't know why y'all hate on Angela Simmons' goofy ass so much. Anything she does, and y'all are right there to remind her that she's goofy. Leave that girl alone, child. Angela Simmons, goofy ass shit, man. LOL, shaking my head. Y'all picking on Angela Simmons. She just a suburban John who like hood niggas trying to fit in. We all know these type. I think people hate on Angela Simmons because they see her own corniness in her, and people don't like themselves. So as you guys can see, a lot of people were saying different things about her. And when Keke Palmer stepped into the chat, Angela Simmons and Keke Palmer are both corny as F. Angela Simmons must be stopped. And again, we got some more comments. From what I can see, I think she is still with Yo Gotti. I think she is. I see the pictures are still up there. I don't follow it often, but I believe that they are still actively dating. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the actual ad commercial. You guys should be familiar with Slutty Vegan. I know she does have one in Dallas and one in ATL and maybe somewhere else. So here's the ad. 1 second, I had to take it down. Here we go.
Many ways one can eat a fried Oreo without knickers on in the bath, with aristocrat behavior, tasty, or in the comfort of one's home. However you fancy your Oreos, make sure it's using Angela's Cakes Mix. Available now at Slutty Vegan.
All right, so that was the ad that sent everybody in a frenzy. Do you recognize it, Sweeney?
No.
Still don't recognize him? Okay. I want to get you guys' thoughts about it, man. It's just a little icebreaker, man. Do you think it's a bad look for her? Go ahead, Luis. Like you want to kind of come off the mic. Or Trev, go ahead, Trev. I know you're such a big fan of hers.
Hey, I'm not gonna say she's a bad looking woman at all. She looks good, but like I said, her voice is the worst. It's just an ad, though. Like I don't understand why. How did that send anybody into a frenzy? I mean, it is goofy, yeah, but it's a little commercial. So what? Like she just having funny, Oreos. I've seen a lot of goofy commercials. You see these Doritos and that are doing things like way worse. It's just an ad. I don't see it like as a problem to me. Like it's funny. And it might get people to want to go eat them damn Oreos. What's the problem?
I thought the ad sucked pretty bad. I think she could have done a little better. Maybe put the Oreo cookies in her ass cheek or something like that. That probably would have been better.
I think they was in her ass cheeks.
I mean, like her holding, you know how they hold the credit card in their butt cheek or something like that.
Go tip drill.
Yeah, maybe do something like that. Like she tried to be all bougie with the shit. That just make it look stupid to me. Like, come on, let it all out, goddamn.
Like bougie and like ratchet. It's like
I remember Mr. Lego say he wanted to eat whipped cream out the girl butt. Like put it in there and eat it out.
Oh shit.
That's what that's like.
It's not.
Let me tell you,
Mark, it's not a good thing to quote Mr. Lego.
Bruce, you a fool, bro.
That shit was hilarious. Lego is funny to me. I like Lego.
So look, let me tell y'all what I don't like. about that whole ad. I saw the picture on the internet. I didn't watch the video until just now, but I saw that picture of her in the bathtub with the Oreo cookies. Now, I'm not holier than thou, and I'm certainly not all for the community and all that kind of stuff, really, like I used to be. But two things that rubs me wrong with this. One, you guys know I'm a health freak, and I have I have something called the Fountain of Youth, and I'm 52 years old, and I try to teach older men how to, regain their youth and the whole night. So the leading cause of death amongst Black residents in the United States in 2023 was heart disease, cancer, stroke, and unintentional injuries, in that order. Heart disease. My father died in 2021. Heart disease. Almost all of you on this panel have somebody in your family with type 2 diabetes. Angela is not in shape herself. She's overweight. So I don't even like when people are almost making it normal to be obese. She's sitting in the bathtub of fucking Oreo cookies. That's not even chocolate. I don't know if you guys know, whenever you get a chocolate chip cookie, make sure you get a chocolate chunk cookie, because chunk, by the USDA, they have to call it chocolate chunk, because chocolate chip isn't real chocolate. Chocolate chip cookies, like Chips Ahoy, that's just paraffin. Chocolate chunk is real chocolate. It's little shit like that a lot of people just don't know about. And so when you got Angela Simmons, who's Russell Simmons' niece, Run's daughter, Rev Run, sitting in the bathtub, filled with fucking junk that we don't need to be promoting and selling. And I get it, it's slutty vegan, and it's a restaurant there. She got her campaign going on, but it's almost like a bad song. It's almost like a bad rap song that's promoting degeneracy. Now, if it was some healthy food, if she was doing something more conducive to make people live longer, than cool. But you sitting in a bathtub of fucking Oreo cookies and you already obese. I don't like that look. That's just me. That's number one. Number two, I went and just got this just now. Angel Reese said, I've endured so much, witnessed so much. I've faced relentless attacks, received death threats. I've been sexualized, threatened. I've been labeled so many things, and yet I remain resilient through it all. That's what happened when she got her ass whooped in that basketball game before she became a pro. But the thing that got everybody is where she says, I've been sexualized, because what they did was they went back and they looked at Angel Reese's prior photos where she's twerking, acting like a fucking ratchet, wearing revealing clothes, titties all out. She got this one video where she got a camel toe all out, all on the video. And she's just doing all that all for a whole year. And then turn around and said, oh man, I've been sexualized. And everybody went in on her because it's like, you playing victim. See, one of the arguments that a lot of women have is, why do Black women always look like, why we got to always be sexualized? How come, the women that say, go to the white guys, well, the white guys fetishize you. They don't take you seriously. We just 2 or 3 shows ago, we played a video where Sexy Red was up there with the country western singers, but she was up there bouncing her ass and twerking. Now we got we got Angela Simmons sitting in the bathtub, butt naked, with some Oreo cookies, trying to look sexy. So now you sell sex, but then you get mad when you're sexualized. It's like, where's the classiness? We should almost overcompensate for the so many years of bad imagery that we put out there, but it just never happens. Anytime we get an opportunity to do something, we go back to Oreo cookies, type 2 diabetes, hypertension by fat motherfucking actresses and actors looking sexy and selling sex just to sell some fucking cookies, some pies and cakes that we shouldn't be eating to begin with. So I get it. You guys are light on it. But when I see that stuff, man, it bothers me, because it's like, yo, when do we, is it, last week you guys, like a lot of people got on me for, the Haktua girl, when I was like, get the bag, right? And I said, well, the Haktua thing kind of landed on her. But when you go out and you chase being messy and you chase the money and don't give a fuck about who can it hurt, who it's killing, who you're influencing, my kids, I got 2 sons, and I got to fight every time of them not wanting junk food because they get it from their friends, and they get accustomed to cookies and cakes and pies and Hostess and all this stuff. And the ice cream truck come, they lose their mind, and it's like, God damn, when do we stop? And it seems like we don't, because if somebody offers you some money, next thing you know, you strip your clothes off, you act like you sexy, you sell the sex to all the people who already look at you like a sex object, and then you're gonna also make sure that we got fucking high fucking sugar counts and our teeth are falling out because we eating fake cookies like Chips Ahoy and Oreo cookies. So,
hey Shan, real quick. Ain't nobody chasing that ice cream truck no more. That motherfucker expensive as hell. $5 for a strawberry shortcake. They tripping.
All right. So I can agree with you on the sugar aspect of that whole thing. Diabetes is a problem, and we shouldn't be advocating for sugar on the health side. I got you on that. That girl ain't fat though, bro. She ain't fat at all. From the pictures I just put up, her body is, I don't see that's not fat to me. I guess we got different. It's what you call it.
Is that recent?
We can't hear you.
Bro, that's not fat.
Yeah, that was June 29th post.
If she fat, I like fat women. Go ahead and charge it up.
I think real quick, you're confusing what he said, the imagery of what she is putting out.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I was on mute. I forgot. I kept saying Photoshop, fashion designer, photographer, editor. I use Lightroom like the back of my hand. For those that know Adobe Lightroom, you know what I'm talking about. That was what you just saw was Photoshop. Go to her Instagram page and look at her videos. Go look at her story if you want to see. She's fat. She's not fat. She's obese. She's not morbidly obese because there's levels. Remember I'm also a certified fitness trainer. So you got in shape, you got normal, then you got overweight, then you got obese, then you got morbidly obese. She's not morbidly obese, but she's more than fat.
So would it be safe to say that it's the wrong message, including the wrong messenger as well?
Yeah, that's the point.
Can we get a full body? Because I need to get past this.
Look, that right there. Where's the collarbone? There's no collarbones. All you see
is
about
that.
Well, listen, I'm not saying some brothers don't like them thick. Some brothers don't like them chunky like that. I'm just letting you know what she is.
Sexy. What she doing right now, I don't think that's sexy. I don't think that's sexy. But I don't know, bro.
Aside from her personal, this is not a personal attack on Angela. I'm just simply saying this is what her baby daddy died. I mean, she's already had kind of like a bad rap. Was murdered, I think, not died, but I think he was murdered.
What's that got to do with her?
Hey JR, go to the video of her doing the jump spot.
It's not an indictment on her, so she knows she's had a bad situation, and
for her to go to the video of her doing the jump spots.
She comes back like this.
Hold on, let me zoom in, replay it, because she don't seem fat to me. I'm smacking. I would smack.
Well, I know you. I know it's a lot of dudes that smack a lot of chicks.
It's a lot of girls that's real.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna talk about it because I'll be a nigga in a glass house throwing stones. So,
man, remember I was talking about that bone? I think it's called a coccyx. That's at the back, like right above your ass.
I don't know we don't know what the hell you talking about, bro. We don't know what the hell you talking about.
Like when you smack it from the back, if they got an ass, you get clapped back and cushion, and if they don't, you just be hitting that fucking bone. All right. Anyway,
so the overall my overreaching message is. Oh, wait! Look at what Trev's doing. Look, blow up Trev.
I'm almost afraid that we don't know what's going to be coming on these videos.
No, but out of left field, bro.
That was her stories. I was just in her stories. I was trying to find different footage of her. That's all.
How much do you weigh?
Y'all can win me over. If you're saying I have a different expectation for black women and I'm holding them to a higher standard and I want to see black women win, so I don't want to see her representing herself like this, I ain't got no argument. If you're saying she is obese and why are these women selling sex, this is an issue, and then don't say that same thing about Haktua cave woman, like the Haktua woman.
I just explained that. So it's almost like it went in one ear, not the other. I
I
explained
heard
it in detail. Okay, but you don't believe what I said.
I just wanted to bring it up because you stole my point before I got to say it.
I just explained that away because I knew it would potentially come. So
yeah, it was coming. I was sitting here thinking about it like, these the same niggas that said capitalize on the marketing.
Yeah, you capitalize on the marketing that lands on you and get the bag, especially if you're a nobody. This is Angela Simmons. This is Run DMC's daughter. Yeah. This is a woman who has a heavy influence already for the last decade and a half. Not some chick that was on spring break walking through the fucking neighborhood at night and got drunk.
All right, let me ask you a question. What type of man would you prefer to see her with? Like, what would the image of Angela Simmons be for you that you would think, oh, she did it?
Well, see, again, this is not an indictment on Angela. I don't want to. I could answer that question. I could, but the reason I didn't answer it immediately, like I normally do, is because it's not about Angela. It's about the image that we just watched, the video. It's it's about the ad. I'm more so upset with the ad because number one killer is what I led with is hypertension. So if we are dying, why are we out here selling cookies? If black women are sexualized already, you know, so many women that will not be black women that will not be taken serious in the workplace because they either are getting fucking, you know, essayed or they're getting or they're getting jobs because some creep is trying to screw her or whatever reason, and they're getting fetishized. So we need classiness as much as we possibly can. We need healthy food as much as we possibly can. And the opportunity that we have cookies and nakedness. And that just rubs me wrong right now. That's just for me.
Is she slutty vegan? She a vegan, right? Is she a vegan?
Vegan?
I would imagine.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I hope that her Oreo cookies are vegan. Are Oreos vegan?
I don't know.
No, not the original ones. Not the original ones. No.
So wait, hold on, wait.
Not vegan.
So she talking about she making fried Oreos.
Man, I had some fried shrimp. That shit was not fried shrimp at Vegan Fest. So I don't even know if those were Oreos.
No, I'm just saying.
They can't be. That shit was a vegan spot.
That shit was fried mushrooms cut up like shrimp.
Can she like advertise Oreos like that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Because I don't know if you can just go and say
they might sell a vegan version, but I know that cream. I guarantee that's dairy. That cream that's made in that creamy filling that we all love, that's dairy. So it ain't nothing vegan about it. Ain't nothing vegan about
got a mushroom parade.
Don't they have to be?
Yeah, but
if they
sold like, can she call them Oreos though?
But the thing about it, we know these stars and these Hollywood people, they use a lot of things, they promote a lot of things they don't even use. So I mean, this is
that's true too.
It's for the bag. It is what it is. I mean, get your money, man. Fuck it. I don't have no problem with her doing what she's doing.
Are those her Oreos or those?
Yeah, I don't know. They look like the double stuffed Oreos. That's what they look like.
I don't know if she could do that. Can she do that?
Yeah, why can't she?
I mean,
why can't she?
You did it. What you think you're looking at?
Maybe Oreos are. Listen, maybe it's all fake. You know, see, the whole thing is about vegan and veganism and vegetarianism. Is it animal products? I'm assuming that creamy filling is made with some sort of dairy, but maybe, just maybe, it's not. That's fake too.
It's fried Oreos. It's fried Oreos.
The whole fucking cookie is fake, which is even worse to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you got to have raw diet cookies and shit, but God, if you so instead of saying, oh, you know what, it's not no animal product, so maybe Oreos are vegan, but eat these because they're completely artificial. It's Oreos are made in the laboratory. It's like it's nothing chocolate about it, nothing natural about it, not the creamy filling, not the cookie on the outside, none of it. And I'm swimming in it in the bathtub, looking sexy, trying to sell that so you guys can eat this fake shit too.
I'm about to go to her page, man. I ain't no way in hell she's selling
Oreos. They always sell something that they don't use, products they don't use, products they don't believe in. They do it all the time. This is nothing new. So I'm not surprised she's doing that.
I know.
She just
I know I'm coming off as a Debbie Downer. I get it. I'm coming off.
She's not selling the Oreos. She's selling her cake mix.
Sweeney, just say you're hungry.
No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to figure out because I'm like, can she actually? No, because I'm sitting over here like, can she sell Oreos? But no, she's selling her cake batter. That's what she's selling. She's selling the cake mix.
Okay. All right. Well,
why does she put so much emphasis on the fucking Oreo?
Is her cake batter vegan?
I think you could have sold your cake batter a different way.
Yeah, it's vegan. It's a vegan pancake, waffle, and funnel cake dessert mix.
Now I'm on Darwin's side. She should have made a cake out of her butt. And then, like, you know,
nobody wants to see. Bro, hold on, wait. Hey, Marcus, bro, I heard that all kind of wrong, bro.
No, a butt cake. Like a butt cake.
I thought you said she needed to have a cake come out of her butt. I was gonna be like,
no.
Oh, damn, that's a whole. Wait, that's a whole kind of.
No.
Yo,
that would have sold.
If she would have squeezed,
Darwin, you would have bought it.
Oreo out your ass, bro. Everybody would have bought that shit.
Oh, they would have bought it.
And I'm no saint. I'm no saint myself.
If she would have squeezed the cake mix out of her butt, you would have bought it.
You see the face. Look, do you see the face? Darwin just made?
Kenny, what's
He
wrong
was like,
with your man?
well.
Kenny, what's wrong with your man, Kenny?
All right, man. Let's go to Brother Luis, man. So we can go ahead and try to close this on out. What you got, brother?
Like I said it again, man. Wrong message and wrong messenger. I do agree with Shannon. I mean, unfortunately, like the things that are marketed to us are never really the most healthiest. It's not healthy in the way that we consume, that we either eat, drink, even the mindset, what we consume visually, things that go against our better judgment, our health, just even the activities overall. It's kind of almost rarity now to see an actual commercial that is catered and curated for us in a way that there's an actual positive outcome or a redirection of our mental health or our diet choices. You know what I'm saying? Those types of things are rarely marketed to us. You see in other places, but for us, it never really looks like that. I'll end my point by saying this. If you're going to look at a commercial like that and we're going to pick it apart, then let's sit back and look at all the other commercials that people within our own demographic are participating in. Like the excessive drinking of alcohol, probably the excessive use of other recreational drugs, things like that. I mean, think about how long was lean pushed in the community as a party thing, right? And now you got a whole generation of kids who are hooked on it. It's always about like the presentation in the delivery of who is the end user, who's the target audience, who's eventually going to be affected. And sort of, I think when it comes to just this example in terms of just health and what we're consuming, it is far off mark from where we need to be, because considering health is a huge major factor. And Shan had laid it out. I think it was, what was the number one killer? It was this disease of the heart. Number one killer by far. So
yeah. I don't mean to come off as a Debbie Downer, guys. Listen, I don't want to come off as a Debbie Downer, but my father died of heart disease in 2021, and my mother has type 2 diabetes. Got to get the insulin shot. I'm personally addicted to pastries. I'm addicted to them. Like one would be an alcoholic. I'm addicted to pastries because I ate that so much as Twinkies and ho-ho cakes and all that kind of stuff as a kid. And at 52 years old, I still have a fiend for it. And so it kind of like bothers me when I see that kind of stuff. And like Lewis mentioned, when we got wrap. I don't know if you guys ever had those chips wrap snacks. You got all the wrappers on the bag and stuff. We got wrap snacks, and then when Snoop makes some cereal, he sells some Fruity Loop fruit sugar cereal. And then we talked about 50 Cent earlier, but then it's always his alcohol. And then we got Ciroc. It's like alcohol and sex and Fruit Loops and fucking and sodium filled chips. And now we got Oreo cookies. And it's like, does anything? We don't have, it's all bad. It seems like every time. And so for me, I know I get it. My bad for coming off as a Debbie Downer, but goddamn, enough is enough.
Would you have shot the commercial? Would you have shot the commercial for it, Shan? Would you have shot the
50
commercial?
50 Cent did have vitamin water.
Anybody drink or smoke?
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, remember 50 Cent had vitamin water?
Yeah, he invested in vitamin. It wasn't even vitamin water when he first put the $4 million in on it, and it was just he was an angel investor before they really got started. And this is before Coca-Cola bought vitamin water, and so when Coca-Cola bought it, that's when he cashed out. But it wasn't because 50 was like, "Oh, this is a great idea. Let's sell some healthy water." And the flip side of that, vitamin water ain't healthy. It ain't no vitamins in it.
All right. Can you pay anything before we transition?
No, let us get past this. I think everybody broached the subject.
All right.
I just got one question, Shannon.
We just putting more.
Shannon, you eat the box?
Yeah, this dude go ask the next man if he
Shan, would you have shot that commercial? Would you have shot that commercial for it though?
No. Mm-mm. When I was heavy in film, the answer is Darwin. No, I like fit women. I'm not.
No. I wasn't asking would you eat hers. I said, do you eat box?
Oh yeah.
Do you always check whether the woman diet is in line with what you eat?
Yeah. If you saw my history of women that I'm with,
come on, Sam.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm built different, but if you knew the women that I've dated, they are the best of the best.
So you telling me whenever you get ready to go down, hey, what do you eat on a daily basis? What is your diet like?
By the time that we're naked, I already know all of that stuff.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not the kind of guy that just jumps in and just starts smashing chicks night one. I know the people. I get to know people that I'm sexually involved with. And then the other question was, would I have shot that commercial? The answer is no. One of the issues that I had when I was heavy in film producing is that they wanted me to do a lot of reality shows. So back in the early 2000s, reality TV was big. It was big money. You could have made millions as a producer. And because it was all, but I saw the writing on the wall. And I saw how Tech Holmes was my friend. He was one of the original MTV. What's the name of that TV show where they all stayed in the house?
Real World.
The Real World.
The Real World. Tech, the Real World. So Tech would tell me, he said, Shan, everything now is fake. And so I would get pitched to produce reality TV shows, things like The Real Housewives, but in the early stages, and it was all scripted. And everybody was edged on, and they wanted violence, and I noticed that they was edging that towards Black people, and I would turn those projects down. Big bags, but it was just like, I can't do it. We need to elevate our projects in terms of movies. The movie scripts I would get, it would be stuff like Soul Plane and Baps and all this buffoonery and dumb. It was always some gangster shit and somebody betraying his homeboy and his brother, and he had to go get the drugs and he stole the keys and it's always some gangster shit. I was like, we don't do no horror films. We don't have no romantic comedies where everybody's a little bit smart and into. They never greenlit those projects, and they always wanted me to produce shit that made Black people look bad, and I just turned it down. So no, I wouldn't have shot that commercial.
All right, if you guys just tuning in, welcome to King Talk. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. About to go ahead and start unpacking the impact of social media and activism on women's happiness. And we're going to start off by, got this doctor, man. He's going to talk about the 4 pillars of happiness, Stockdale paradox, women happiness while working. And then we're going to tie it back into Tia Mowry. So should be having a nice ending. So here we go.
couple studies that I thought were fascinating. You know, one in particular being the definition really of the book, which is, you know, the 4 pillars of happiness, which you talked about that seem kind of obvious, but in a world in which common sense is not so common, perhaps aren't so obvious. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah. So these are the practices, the habits that the happiest people have in common. We start off the book by defining happiness, which is not a feeling. Very important, because emotional self-management is critical to living a good life. And if you're just hoping for happy feelings, this is not going to lead you to emotional self-management. So we start off with a proper definition, which is that it's the macronutrients of happiness, or enjoyment and satisfaction and meaning. And we talk about, you know, the difference between enjoyment and pleasure, about satisfaction, why it's hard to get and keep, you know, why meaning tends to be so elusive. And then we say, okay, well, what are the practices that people have? What are the habits that people have in common who are getting a lot of those 3 macronutrients? In other words, they have a good balanced diet. Then we talk about the dishes in the happiness diet. And those dishes are faith, family, friends, and work. And we talk about each one. So faith doesn't mean my faith. I'm a Catholic, the most important thing in my life. But as a scientist, I know that for happiness, there are many paths that all have the same thing in common, which is transcendence. You have to transcend your own little psychodrama. Mother Nature wants you to think, oh, Cody's the only thing in the world. The only thing in the world. And it's just tedious and boring and terrifying all at the same time, makes you feel dead inside. You need to transcend you. You need to get little. This is the point of these religious experiences from the happiness perspective. I'm not going to talk about the metaphysics, about what's metaphysically correct. That's a different discussion entirely. But for happiness, you can get that from religious or non-religious behavior. When I say faith, I mean a serious philosophy of life that shows you the grandeur of the universe and makes you little. That's important, whether it's reading the Stoics, like our friend Ryan Holiday likes to do, whether it's walking in nature before dawn in the Brahma Muhurta, that's the creator's time, whether it's studying the fugues of Bach, whether it's adopting a Vipassana meditation practice, or whether for me, it's going to mass every day. You got to have something. So that's faith. Family life sounds sort of obvious, but 1 in 6 Americans is not talking to a family member because of politics today, which is the saddest datum in my whole field. We could cover the neurophysiology of why we need to be around our people and they need to be around us. You know, we're a kin-based species, and we have neurophysiological ways to identify our kin and take pleasure in their company, but we know who they are, and it's important that we maintain those relationships. Friendships, I'm talking about real friends, not deal friends. You know, a lot of people listening to this show, they want to be really successful. That is fantastic. I endorse that. I endorse the show. I endorse the philosophy, but be careful. You need useless people in your life. You need real friends who are useless, not just deal friends who are useful.
All right. This first video, 4 pillars of happiness. 4 pillars of happiness. I'm going to go ahead and start with you first, Marcus.
So to summarize the 4 pillars, what did he say? It was faith, family, work, and what's the other one?
Friendships.
Friendships. Okay, so I can get with the friendships one, because you absolutely do need people who you see more value in than just value added that's tangible. Like people you can relax around, people you can laugh with, chill with, where you don't necessarily have to gain something when you interact with them. I think transactional relationships make people very expendable. And the more expendable people are in your life, the harder it is for you to form emotional connections and long-lasting connections. Like I got some friends I've been with for how am I 30? No, I'm 40. Yeah, almost 30 years. You know what I'm saying? I got a decent amount of people that I've been messing with for a decent amount of time. Some people that fell off, but the majority of them still within that core unit. Family, I think that's really the biggest one. If you have a big enough family, they almost operate as all of those things combined, because you have things you have to do for the family work-wise. You have things that you have to do to keep you spiritually grounded if you're going to be in a leadership position in your home. Just the energy exchange that occurs between you and your, I'm going to say significant other, because if you're a woman, it might be with the man as well. And your kids, it's fulfilling, to say the least. I think I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in my life, and it has zero to do with work. So that, you know, and I remember it was a point in life where I was so A-type driven to let me just go get it. Let me just go get it. Let me just go get it. And I was like, when does it stop? Like when do I reach the pinnacle of me being able to to be like, all right, I did it, and I'm sitting at the top of this mountain. It's just another mountain to climb, and it's another day and another mountain to climb. Like, man, fuck that. I'm gonna be happy now. I'm gonna kick it with my family now. I'm gonna do, what I'm, trying to do what's necessary to make sure I fulfill any obligations I have. But I'm gonna live my life, bro. My father died of a heart attack too, Shan, when I was in 3rd grade. I always assumed I was gonna die before 20. Then when I made it to 20, I assumed I was, not because of a heart attack, but then when I made it to 20, I just knew I was gonna die before 31 of a heart attack. So ever since 33, I've been on borrowed time in my mind, honestly. So I enjoy every day. I'll be like, I just got finished. I don't know if y'all know what Bluey is. It's a little dog, a little blue dog, and Bingo and a little dog. They got dance parties on YouTube where you be with the kids, and then you gotta like dodge rocks and jump on lava pits, and you just be in there. We just was doing that. That's the type of stuff I'd be in the house doing. And I'd be having fun doing it, I ain't gonna lie. And it's better than when I used to be on the boats with the hoes and all that other shit. Like I enjoy my family a lot more than all of that. So yeah. That's that.
All right, I'm gonna go to Kenny P. 4 Pillars of Happiness.
Faith, family. What's the other 2?
Faith, family, friendship, and work.
Work.
And worth.
Work.
Work. Those are all pretty much basics. It's not to be polarized or anything like that. 1, we weren't meant to be solitary creatures. 2, you can't really move through this life unless you have something grounded that you believe in. 3, family is very important. I know some well-off people. They don't have nobody around them. They're recluses. Some of them are horrible people. Some of them don't even know how to function. If you put them in a room full of 20 cool people, they'll feel strange and want to leave. Basic tenets of life that we all didn't put a name on that bullet, but most people at us live by those things, and I'm in full agreement with what the man said. I don't know if he's a professor. What is he, a professor or something like that?
No, he's a Harvard professor and best-selling author.
Did he seem happy to you, Kenny?
Who?
Did the guy speaking, did he seem like a happy person to you?
He seemed like he was comfortable with who he was. From my impression, he seemed grounded. He seemed that he understood, okay, what he was and what he required in his life. And I don't think you need, like, even though you say he's from Harvard, you don't need that type of accreditation to understand that stay away from negatives, keep positives around you. It's just basic tenets. Your mom done told you that. Your family members, the people that loved you, gave you, don't do that or this will happen, cause and effect. And if you lived a good life and be good to people and hope that is reciprocated to you within this life, I think you're adhering to those tenets that he just put out there. I'll leave it there.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and introduce something else. He talked about the Stockdale paradox.
This funny thing in the psychological literature called the Stockdale paradox. And James Stockdale was an admiral who was captured during the Vietnam War, and he was in the Hanoi Hilton. He was in in prison, in a prison camp kept by the North Vietnamese. It was a bad situation. He noticed this weird thing. The optimists died. They died of a broken heart. He said, it's like, oh, we're going to be out by Thanksgiving. And then Thanksgiving came and went. Oh, yeah, out by Christmas, Easter. And they got more and more and more despondent because their predictions didn't come true. The important thing to keep in mind is that you don't know if things are going to be okay or things are not going to be okay, but there's something you can do, and that's hope. Hope is this active virtue. So among Christians, it's a theological virtue. Faith, hope, and love. The whole idea that there's something can be done and you can do it. I don't know what the odds are, but I can actually do something that empowers you to act in a particular way. So the key thing is to say, okay, what can you do today? So when things are going rotten, and in everybody's life, there's grief and there's sadness and there's difficulty and there's barriers, and you wake up each day and say, okay, I got it. I have the situational awareness of these things. It's not perfect. What can I do today? What can I do today? That's a very hopeful way to start your day, and you will start empowered. That's incredibly important, as opposed to indoctrinating yourself with a bunch of false propaganda. It's going to be great today. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You can be a pessimistic, hopeful person, as a matter of fact, and you'll be a lot better off than if you're a hopeless optimist. Which means I think everything's going to be okay, but there's nothing I can do.
I get it. So optimism is much more outcome based and
just prediction.
External.
It's just predicting the future, and we don't know the future. We don't know the future. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, we're recording this in New York City. There's a lot of buses running through red lights out there. I don't know, but I know that I can actually keep my eyes open, look both ways, and not jaywalk too terribly much. I have hope that there's a lot that I can do, even though I don't know what's actually going to happen.
All right. So now I'm introducing the Stockdale paradox along with the 4 pillars of happiness. I'm going to go to you, Darwin.
I would say, to me personally, well, I think 4 pillars of happiness may be subjective for each individual, because it may be some point where mine may intersect, and I wouldn't even limit myself to 4, but just to entertain the conversation, I would say mine would be time is one. And when I say time, I mean having control of where you are and what you're doing with your time. That's one of the things that makes me really, really happy, being able to have control over that. Principle, standing for something that provides structure and guidance to your life, knowing that what I'm doing, the decisions I'm making, the path I'm going, is backed by something that I stand for, that's proven to drive the results that I want, that, match the outcomes I desire. So standing on principle. Passion is another thing. There's many things I like to do. So just doing what you love to do as much as you can and as often as you can, for me specifically, brings me a lot of happiness. And then the last one I would say is generosity. Satisfaction, having some satisfaction from making others around you who you love, making them happy and joyful. Just knowing that you're directly responsible, or in some way you're responsible for the happiness of the people that are around you that you love. It's a really good feeling knowing that some of the things that I'm able to do is able to make people around me that I love absolutely happy and joyful. So those things make me happy. Maybe some of those things intersect with what he said, maybe they don't. There you go.
All right, go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, I could agree with that, Darwin. Like, as far as being able to help others, that's a good thing. And that kind of relates to what he was talking about initially with the work aspect. And I know, Marcus, you said that the work doesn't really affect you that much, but I'll say this. So let's just say you're doing a job that is completely monotonous and you just hate it. It's something that you really don't want to do. It's something that you're not passionate about. It's something that you just really don't care for. And you have to do it. You got to get up. You looking at the alarm clock like, damn. There's sometimes there's people who wake up every day like, damn, I got to go to this place. And that'll really like make you unhappy. Absolutely. Now, if you are doing something which is fulfilling to you, right? Something that you feel like is your purpose, something that you enjoy getting up to do, and you don't care about. It's great that you get paid to do it, and it's unbelievable that you can even get paid to do something that you love. And especially if you're able to help others, whether it's through consultation, whether it's through, just advice, or being able to help somebody get to another place in life just from what you have told them or what you have did for them, then that would absolutely allow you to be happier just from that in itself, right? I use myself for an example. Me, what I do on a daily, I don't mind it, right? It's cool and I enjoy doing it, but it doesn't feel like my purpose. When I started doing like more content, and then people will come to me for advice, and I could offer them advice. I'm like, hey, thank you for helping me. That is so much more fulfilling for me to be able to put out some good into society and to be able to help situations or help people in their relationships or help people raise their credit score or help people with financial advice or school them on how to cop your first house, right? Or any type of game that I could give you that will help you. That to me, if I could actually get paid to do that, and again, y'all know I do consults like straight up free now, right? So me being able to help people and being able to get paid from just the content that I do, me just pushing my ideas out there and people learning from it, or and saying that they changed their thinking, or it might make them think differently. I'm like, damn, okay, that right there is extremely fulfilling to me. And that's why I would say work is important. So family, absolutely. I would say more for women, definitely for men. Though we want to take care of our family, right? We love to take care of our children, so of course that's going to be something that we all are going to be happier from, right? That's just the fact that people who are not lonely friends. I've had to drop some because some people are just liabilities, right? I do think that you should have some friends that you don't need for business, but at the same time, you can't have people who are taking away from you, right? If they require so much energy that you have to take away from what you're doing or time away from your family or your business, then it's like, damn, man, I can't do it anymore. You got to let them go. But it is important to have people who you don't need anything from. They don't need anything from you. Just enjoy their company. Just to have somebody who you know can relate to you. Somebody who you know, like, okay, look, all right, I'm not going crazy on her. Or you just might be able to say, you know what? What about this right here? Oh, okay. Nah, that's cool. Right? Somebody just to chop it up with, man. Chill out with the homies. It's a great thing to have. And as far as faith, I think it helps to keep many people grounded. It's important for that. And it'll help guide you in life, which of course could lead you into happiness. And what was the last one? I know they said that was family, faith, work. What was the other one? Work, friendships. Oh, I think I covered them all in. Oh yeah, cool.
Faith, family, friends, and work.
Yeah, somebody else go there.
So I agree with Darwin on the time thing. I think when I remove work, I'm removing the ability for somebody to relegate my time. So I kind of like it flows in together. And I do agree with you on you can find purpose in helping other people. And I wouldn't classify that as work either. When I'm thinking of work, I'm thinking about people who like dedicate themselves to their career and all they think about is chasing it. And no offense to those people. If you want to live your life that way, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying, for me personally, no one else, that's not an ideal scenario for me. But that's not to diminish anyone else's aspirations, because, you know, if it make you happy, I'm happy for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy that makes you happy. It's just not that specific aspect. But what y'all described to me didn't seem like work. What y'all described, it falls into friendship and family. Because if I'm building with people in the way you described, I'm developing more of a relationship than a transactional relationship. Like, I'm actually, I'm concerned about XYZ that's going on in your life, and we exchanging not monetary gain or employment opportunity or a business. We actually exchanging friendship. Like that's value. I'm friendship essential to the soul is one of the marquees. So you know what I mean? But yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play women's happiness, and I'm gonna go to Sweeney.
What's going on with women these days? We used to be a lot
It's a broad
happier
question.
than men.
Yeah.
You're like, where do we start?
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
bring out the
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
But I was looking at some of your research, and it seems like women, you know, across multiple different categories used to be happier than men.
Right.
Now we're not.
Right.
How bad are we? What's the difference? And what happened?
So that's a good question. What happened? So to get a little bit of background on that, for the longest time, it was found that women were happier than men. And a lot of ways to look at that. You know, women at different ages were happier than men. Women of all different marital status were. Single women were happier than single men. Married women. Widowed women, way happier than widowed men.
I told my husband that one.
Yeah, I told my wife that. She's like, huh. And the only group of women that were unhappy were divorced women. And typically is because they had custody of the kids, and that's incredibly stressful to be a single parent, because working and kids, etc. That doesn't mean that there's not a lot of meaning. It just means that, day-to-day enjoyment can be attenuated. But what you've found is that over the past 20 years or so, women have converged downward to the unhappiness levels of men. So they've converged, and at first I thought, great, men are getting happier. Women are getting unhappier is what we find, and they're getting unhappier very quickly. And so there's a lot of different theories of it. You find that there's a lot less family formation going on. There's a lot less marriage that's actually happening. You find that men and women are diverging politically really, really quickly. You find that women are getting much more politically progressive and men are getting more conservative. And so the result of it is that, especially in a culture where people think that the most important thing for making a romantic match is, voting for the same party idiotically, as if that, so you'll find that they're less and less and less likely to find somebody that can actually love them as a person because of these differences in ideology, and they're just diverging in these particular ways. I think that a lot of the activism culture is particularly targeted at women. Social media is especially targeted at young women. It's creating a whole lot of misery with the social comparison, with political hatred, with the sense of loneliness that's crawling out of people's smartphones. And all these things together are creating an epidemic of unhappiness among women, especially young women in our society today.
All right, so we got the 4 pillars, we got the Stockdale paradox, and then we have women's happiness. Go ahead, Sweeney.
All right, so first I want to cover the first half of that. As many of y'all may have deduced, I am a world-class hater. I'm a world-class hater. Nothing brings me more joy than hating on other motherfuckers. I love it. I do it in jest. I can't say that. I do it in jest. I'm never serious about my hate. I am a world-class hater. And I do derive a little happiness from hating. No, I'm just playing. A little bit. Just playing a little bit. I do hate a whole lot. But it's always in jest. But no, though, to speak about the part where he said, oh shit. To speak about the part about women's happiness, I think women are unhappy because they wanted it all. And what they are coming to realize is that you can't have it all. Regardless of which way the pendulum swings, you got to pick whatever you got to. There's choices and trade-offs to everything. And what they're realizing is that the juice ain't worth the squeeze for the shit that they asked for back then. So now that they realize they can't have it all they're gonna do is sit around and try to complain and then make the men change, and that shit ain't happening. So she's gonna have a bunch of unhappy ass people out there doing unhappy ass people shit. And then I'm gonna be sitting back hating on all of them. But to be serious, I agree with both Bruiser and the guy about the 4 pillars of happiness. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just was sitting back and taking notes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
All right, go ahead, Brother Hink.
Well, I'm gonna talk about these 4 pillars of happiness. 4 pillows, I'm sorry. I guess with religion, friendship, work, and family. Those things are important to me. I mean, those things are important. I mean, no particular order that I would put them in. That's very important to me. I mean, right now I am in the process of we are in the process, me and my fiance is in the process of finding a home. And so we had to make sure we are able to accommodate not only me and her daughter, but my son, but her other kids that she has, young adult kids. So that's part of the process of family. And we're talking about how we're going to bring it all together, making plans to possibly fly them out from Houston to Kentucky so they can experience the ceremony. Because I feel like they need to see that. One of the things we definitely talk about as a family, that we want to send a positive role model for the kids. And part of being a positive role model is seeing marriage, a healthy marriage. someone that we can be together, you know, saying and thrive and something an example for them to see. Now, I hasn't always been the best example for my daughter or my son, you know, but thank God I've got a second chance to correct that, fix that, and try to do better. So yeah, family is very important to me. I respect any man who takes care of his kids and does what he needs to do as a father and as a man. As far as work, yeah, I'm sometimes my lady got to get on me sometimes because I work too much. You know, I tell them, I say it all the time, man. I turn a piece of ass down for some money. Reason why? Because I love to make money, because I know part of that money is going to help me build what I'm trying to build, sacrifice and do certain things for my family. You know, I don't mind sacrificing myself with whether it's sleep, you know, or time off, or certain, you know, I guess outings or vacation or anything like that for the price tag with money. But when it comes to family, that's one thing I won't sacrifice. Even at one time, Jay, when we was on the show, I told you, man, I couldn't stay on the Sunday show. You know, I enjoy Sundays, and I appreciate you doing those things. But in support of family, I had to make sure I was there for my son. You know, because I take that very serious. And as far as religion, you know, it was ordained for me to lead my family, and so with doing that, I had to lead them spiritually as well as physically. And so make sure my kids and her kids and her is all in the right place. Make sure I be the spiritual leader that she needs to see. You know, live through the word and run my household in that fashion. I think what was the other? I think that was it. Was that all four? If it wasn't, oh no, friendship. Okay, man, friendship is very important. I know we come in a time where we used to swipe right, hit the like button, accept, and all of a sudden they're your friend. I come from the old school. Yeah, I got to know you down with me. And then not just because everything's going right in my life or everything's going right in your life and we all good. But where was you when I was going through my issues, when I was going through divorce, when I was going through my separation? Was you there getting on me, telling me, Hank, you fucked up. You made a bad decision. Now you got to live with it. Was you there for me when I say, man, can I sleep on your couch? She put me out. Was you there with me when I, you know, saying my money was funny? When I was short, when I had to make a decision whether I'm going to pay for my car insurance or pay that child support? Was you there with me? You know what I'm saying? Was you there with some words of encouragement? And not necessarily loaning me some money, but just say, Hank, it's going to be all right, dog. You're going to get through this. And if you was, I would consider you a friend. But if you wasn't, you was a burden. And I had to cut your ass loose. So I'm going to leave it there.
I like that, Hank. I'm going to go to you, Shannon, next. But before I do, we're going to play this video, Women's Happiness While Working.
Girl boss, if that's the phrase you want to use. I'm a working woman, but we're certainly working a lot more too. Right. Have you seen any studies that show women's happiness while working? I know online there's this big trad wife sundress movement. What does the data tell us about that?
Well, we know historically that women have always worked. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. I mean, that's like that. That's historically anomalous. The idea that women not working and staying home. There's this pining for the 50s or something. And everybody's got to do their own thing for sure. But if you go back thousands of years, women worked. They're working on farms. What's historically anomalous is the idea that as soon as you get married, you wouldn't work. And again, more power to you if that's what you're going to do. But if we're just going to look at history, that's kind of the way it is. What we do find is that when work crowds out love relationships, you're going to be in trouble. We don't really have that much sympathy for men who do that because, we valorize that when men are workaholic. Workaholism is just any other sort of addiction that we have. But when you drink a bottle and a half of Jack, nobody says congratulations. Your prowess at drinking is unparalleled. I really admire you. But if you work 16 hours, for your startup, people will say that's unbelievable, it's just wonderful. You'll get on the cover of Fortune magazine, but that's just straight up addiction, straight up addictive behavior. What you find is that now that's infecting women as much as it's infecting men, and what that is a relationship with work that crowds out other relationships that bring more happiness. Yeah. You know, you need a relationship with the divine. You need a relationship with your family. You need a relationship, a real marriage, not a fake marriage, not a roommate marriage where you're just like, hey. It's not good enough. You're not going to be happy. And you don't need, you know, a nerd at Harvard with a PhD like me to tell you. Everybody knows that who's watching us. You need real friendships, and real friendships take time. And what we've found is that you know, as the role of women in the workforce has increased to the point where we have workaholism rates among women that are as high as they are among men, that you're going to see precipitous declines in happiness. I don't think that this is especially gender-based. I just think that we have a problematic relationship with the way that we objectify ourselves.
All right, it's on you, Shan.
So much. I got it's like a cumulative topics. Let's see. The Stockdale paradox. The Stockdale paradox is the principle in Stoicism. Remember, I was telling you guys, Stoicism is something that I want you guys to always, like, at least just glance over and see, because it's a great philosophy to practice. You know, and the Stockdale paradox is something that anybody that played any kind of sports or organized sports, you brothers that played organized sports, that's something that you experience, because in the Stockdale, to make it simple, it's the Stockdale paradox, as far as Stoicism is concerned, is when you're in a situation and you know you might not win, but you fight for the end game to prevail anyway, even though you know the brutal facts of that you might lose or die. It's almost like if you know, I know that Marcus understands this. He may have gone out and had a ball against a team that was just supposed to dominate. They had all these, supposed to just lose, but that didn't stop Marcus from going out there and giving it his all on the court, even though he knew he might not win that game. You know, in the military, we do that. We fight to the end. So it's the Stockdale paradox is where there's a duality between I ain't gonna make it, man, but fuck it, we gonna crash out. And if a lot of people took that philosophy into their business, if they took that philosophy into their relationships, they'd get a lot of better outcomes than they normally do, as opposed to just saying fuck it, because sometimes you actually do win. This is David and Goliath. You know, he shouldn't have won, but he prevailed. So Stockdale paradox is something that is really good. He also spoke on the 4 pillars of happiness. When I first read about the 4 pillars of happiness, I always had a kind of issue with that. I don't typically like to rewrite definitions of stuff, high value male or high value man, or the 4 pillars of happiness, or, you know, the 5 love languages, stuff like that, to my own personal definition. But I'm kind of with Darwin, because I always thought that the 4 pillars of happiness was missing one super important one, which was personal achievement. It's not an F, but human beings have a sense of self-aggrandizing themselves to whenever they achieve or do something great, that makes them happy and makes them feel good. You know, you get a haircut, man, you go get that Assured, man. If you guys go and you got that beard and you get that Assured, man, you put it in and you work yourself and that beard is looking good, that has really little to do with faith, family, friends, and work. But you get that king on top, and you put that stuff in, and you looking good in the mirror, that brings happiness. Now, for whatever reason, maybe it's because you didn't have it before, or your beard didn't connect, or your shit was ashy, or whatever reason. But now that you got it all together, that's something that's good. You know, humans are resilient as well. You know, we like to win against all odds. That's kind of like the Stockdale paradox. When you win an award, man, when you accomplish a goal, you achieve a goal, when you pass a test and get a new certification, you know, like Trev is in real estate, when you get a certification, or maybe you guys are truck drivers and you get your CDLs, but when you get that hazardous material certification, when you achieve something, that's happiness too. And it seems like the 4 pillars of of happiness doesn't account for that part. And I always kind of was like, how you don't? I mean, I get it. Friends, helping them and doing stuff with family, helping them and doing stuff in my faith and in God and work, and it's cool. But what about me? So I always kind of had that situation. I mean, I always kind of had that issue with the 4 pillars of happiness. I don't want to redefine it, but I think it's missing a really important one. People tend to really like themselves especially when they accomplish and achieve things.
Check, actually, a question about that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I love what you said. The the personal gratification or achievement one. Do you think that either they could have tied it into work, like they may have like paired that as your job is also your sense of personal accomplishment, or do you think that maybe they viewed it as an external source that you may not have had ultimate control over? And you don't want
an umbrella.
Well, I don't think so, because I don't really see, because work is, because your career and men work. We need something to do. We feel good to work, but when you play sports, that ain't got, when you go skydiving and if you have a bucket list of things that you want to do, if you go bungee jumping and but you're scared of heights but you still make it happen, that has nothing to do with work. But it's also a personal accomplishment that you've been able to do, because you've been able to do when you first dunked. Your first dunk, when you first did your spin around dunk, that had little to do with work as so much as it's a personal accomplishment. So to put it up under there and say work is an umbrella for all those kind of things, I don't even see it. I just think
Marcus ain't doing no spin around dunks, man.
Man, you better. Hey,
ain't doing no spin around dunks.
Well, I had a 40-inch vert.
I ain't got no 40-inch vertical. What are you talking about, man?
Happy Marcus is. Look how happy right now Marcus is.
Oh man! Hey!
Did you see? Man, did you see the joy? Did you see the joy in him talking about his 40-inch vertical? I don't see that in family, friends, faith, and work. I see that as a 5th pillar of happiness. So that's just me.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was happy as hell when I was able to grab rim.
Yeah, when I got to the 4th grade and I could grab rim, I was like, yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, it should be 5 pillars of happiness. Now, in terms of women's happiness, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm with you on that, because the reward and honor, I think speaks to something similar to what you're saying. Because I've had occasions where I went to the gym and we win like 6 or 7 games straight. But then it's one team that usually comes in and beat the shit out of everybody, played us. We beat
y'all
them.
got the dog shit beat out of y'all too. Stop lying.
No, we won against them, and it felt so much. It just felt so good beating them, and all the other games didn't really mean shit. So it felt like it was an accomplishment. If I had lost 7 games straight, but I would have just beat that one team that day, I would have been, fulfilled. You get what I'm saying? So I think it was a sense of reward and gratification, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, they
accomplishment or something.
Shan, to your point, I used to play Call of Duty before the kids, right? And back then they could hack the game where they would just shoot into the spawn. So as soon as you spawned, you would die, and they get like 1,000 kids. They some crazy number, right? It was no way you could beat them. And the people that be talking to me in the game, like, bruh, you know this is hack, right? Why don't you just quit? I'm like, never. So I'm just dying for 30 minutes straight, just trying. But,
that is the Stockdale. The Stockdale paradox. That's what that is.
That's just foolish.
Everybody can tell you that you're gonna lose. You don't even see a pathway to winning, but you don't give it up.
I don't care. I was trying to figure something out, because I normally be number one when I was playing, but
those figure it out.
They spawn camp, and then there wasn't even nobody there. They just was firing bullets into where you were spawning at. So as soon as the game came on, you died. I ain't care though. I still was fighting.
He was killing your KDR.
You say what?
KDR was suffering at the same. I said he was killing your KDR.
Yeah, I don't care about that shit. I'm trying to win. Fuck that. Okay. But ironically, I low-key feel the best when the chip stacked against me. Like, if I feel like I'm gonna win, I really don't enjoy it. I really want to feel like, oh yeah, it's no way I can win and then win.
You know what, Marcus? I do have a story to tell based off of that, right? So
stay away, Kenny. Stay away, Kenny.
this past couple of weeks, right? Well, this started like 3 weeks ago. I had this client sit in my chair. And one type of client I hate more than anything is a YouTube watching ass client. The ones that come up and they think they know your job better than you do. And like they think they know everything about what it is to cut hair. So they really, really fucking picky. And I'm sitting there and my wife can hear the dude being picky right next to me. So she see the frustration in my face because the dude getting on my nerve. And I have this thing that if I don't like a client, I try my best not to tell myself that I hate that client or that I never want to see clients like that. And part of that is the reason, part of that reason for that is because I was like, I don't want God to ever hear me and take them away. Like to be like, all right, well, bet if you don't like these clients, then bet you ain't gonna get them no more. And
a little bit of humility.
And what it made me realize is that because it's those challenging clients that make me a better barber. It's the ones that think they know it all. The ones that, and if I can convince them to do what's best for them and all that, because they'll say they'd come in and sit in your chair and ask for the wildest shit. Hey man, I need you to taper me 3/4 of the way right here, but halfway up on this side, and give me the Gumby up here. And you like, bro, that shit don't look right. But like the more you get those clients to sit in your chair, the more you can convince them what works for them, and they start to trust you. It makes you a better barber. So I definitely see where you're coming from on that, because like I like a challenge too. And at first it used to bother me because I told one of my clients, because I had a young man that wants to be a barber, and I was like, man, one of the things that used to make me the most nervous is when I got a new person in my chair, and I'd be sitting behind that chair sweating, like, man, am I gonna do it right? Is this gonna be right or whatever? And then the more heads that I cut, the more people that I encounter, the less that nervousness came around. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the last one is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's about women's happiness. There's 2 parts to that. And with that, man, women's happiness today. You know, I was having a discussion with Shan on the Lapeef Network Facebook group. So those that don't know that we have a Facebook group, please go to Facebook and type in Lapeef, and you'll see the group. It's a wonderful group. I want you guys to join, and JR or one of us moderators will let you in. But when it comes to women, okay, so there's natural versus normal, right? So what is normalized is what's taught, you know, but what's natural is what's baked in the cake. And so the reality is women want leadership, but when it shows up, they're taught that you should lead the way they want you to lead. Talk to them soft and be kind and like that. And anything else is oppression. And that's just not necessarily the case, but that's what they're taught. That's what they're normalized to believe. And so women are getting pulled in all these different directions. You know, women want family. They want structure. But it's tough for women today in modern times, 2024 and shit, as far as the foreseeable future, because they can't reconcile that, because they're taught to reject family. They're taught to reject structure. You know, and this is women's happiness. Yes, women has always worked. He said what the guy said was a bar. Women have always worked, but they never worked like a man. They're now today they're taught to work like men, and that's not natural. It's normal, and they're being told that. And so now you got women that's being told this is how you got to be in a relationship. You want leadership, but you know, he needs to lead the way you want him to lead. He can't tell you this. He can't talk to you this way, and they're confused with that because once a woman gets a leader and he starts leading, they don't know what to fucking do with that, because they don't necessarily like how he's talking to them or what he's having her do and shit like that. You know, they want family, but then they're also taught to go get the bag. So now they're confused, and they already got a whole lot going on in their head. Women, women, their shit is scattered. And to add all this extra stuff and to not know who to listen to, and to not know, they want to listen to men naturally, but they're told, it's normalized to not do so. So they reject that. So they're all over the place, and here comes the medication. And I think personally, again, I told you guys I'm a conspiracy theorist. So I think that a lot of this shit is done on purpose, because at the end of the day, big pharmaceuticals get paid. If we can drug these women, oh man, we could sell them all this stuff. We could prescribe and put them under this medication and then have them sit on this leather sofa and go to therapy and speak to somebody about it. There's a lot of money out there, but they can pay for it because we're sending their ass to work, and it's confusing women. And then women come over here to King Talk and to my show or you guys' show. They listen to Darwin at his podcast. And then they're like, damn, I don't know. They want a man like Darwin, but they're told to reject Darwin's leadership. But then they want a man like Darwin. But then when they go out in the street, they run into a bunch of bums that ain't like Darwin. But they're not, so they're pulled every which way. And now, like the man said, men's happiness isn't getting better necessarily. Women's happiness, who was once happier, is now getting worse and going below men's today. So women are the most unhappy that they've ever been in their group. But just recently, in the last 2-3 years, their happiness is dropping below the levels of men. And a lot of this stuff is just coming from surveys, but you can quantify it by the medication. You can't knock the numbers. You can't knock, you can measure who the fuck is getting prescribed something at CVS and at Rite Aid and at Walgreens. You know who's on drugs because we can run a report. Women may lie and say they're happy. They may lie and say they love their cats and being alone and going to sleep at night and having a glass of wine and having a little rose toy to play with and watching Netflix. But we all know that that's not the case. So if we can get to a situation where we're not tugging women in all these different directions and get them course corrected to go the right way, which I believe there's structure in family, then I think the happiness will come back.
That would mean all of us men, all of the interactions that they have with men on the majority, we would have to kind of see eye to eye, right? So they won't be so confused. Because I mean, if you were to just ask yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, how many men is worth listening to that a woman would typically run into on a day-to-day basis that actually has the right intention on what you stated, marriage or those outcomes? I don't know. I haven't done the research, but there's a lot of guys that they just down to play. They down to just do what it do, and not really be so compelled to get in a serious relationship. And it may just be because of the family courts. I don't know, but I would assume that was just thinking. You looking at failure. You're already looking at it to fail. If your whole premises of not getting into a relationship or a marriage is because of the divorce court. So it's like that's your Achilles heel, or that's what's really preventing you from taking a risk or doing what your ancestors have been doing for generations. I have to get to the bottom of that.
I mean, a good example that I typically see in so I'm not in the office anymore. I'm on site, and typically I see all the contractors and all the tradespeople out working all day, and I typically supervise and watch the whole process go up. Every time I walk by these guys and I say, hey, good morning, I say good morning to everybody every single day as I do my rounds. Hey, good morning, how you doing? Hey, you had a good weekend? You will see the amount of positive reactions that I get from a lot of these dudes. Hey, man, my weekend was great, man. Spent it with the family, went fishing, got to, turn on the grill, threw some steaks on there, et cetera, right? I remember my commute every morning into the city of Boston, and I see these women sitting on the train, and at times they look so miserable. I've never seen. I tell you, the most miserable people I've ever seen when I was working was always on the commute in, on the train, and you see people all the time with this long face. I remember one time trying to say hello to somebody, just like, hey, good morning. They didn't even look your way. So I juxtapose the two, and I wrote this down. When I'm looking at, men who are building infrastructure, schools at that for the next generation, and are out there actually doing the labor work in cold, heat, hot. Because we've had some hot days up here, boy. Let me tell you, we're scheduled to have a 90 coming up, and they still are conversational, still happy. And also, too, I walked around the site in my time, and I've counted how many rings some of these men have. I say about 80% of these men have wedding rings. The ones that I've seen that I've interacted with, about 80%. And sort of it kind of almost behooves me to get to the conclusion that a lot of women that spend those long hours in that C-suite corner office with the nice view out to the city isn't really panning out the way that a lot of women are sold the dream to think that it was going to be. Because they're in the office at 8, but boy, let me tell you, I like the lights still are on past 6:30, past 7 o'clock, and then they're finally leaving. Plus that 45-minute commute home, that dinner is already cold. And sort of to do that every single day, a lot of them are not taking very much pride into that. Some do, but I think that, you know, the example that Shan had brought up earlier about, you know, their happiness being derived from, you know, either family or them just being stuck, or that life being drawn out of them for, you know, working those long hours. It doesn't really lead to a long, fruitful relationship, and they're having a hard time trying to balance out the two.
You know who be looking miserable at their job, Luis? Public defenders. Have you ever seen a public defender at work? They be looking bad. They be
Those
looking
people
super
look
mad.
fucking miserable. They walk in sweating profusely like they just got out the gym.
Women, ladies. So the thing is, physically, forget the mental side of it. Physically, women are not designed but we haven't evolved as a species for women to be thrown into what they're thrown into today. I'm not talking about construction work. Even the soft, cushy office jobs is taxing physically on women because you got to get up early. You got to go to bed late. You got to take the train. You got to deal with traffic. You got to deal with the elements. You got to deal with a lot of shit. All of that, you know, look at my skin is rough. You know what I'm saying? My beard, my hands are strong. There's calluses on my hand. I'm designed for this. And none of this takes away from my handsomeness. Whereas for a woman to deal with the shit that I deal with as a man takes away from her beauty. And women know that because beauty matters to them. In fact, in a relationship, we say women are the pillars of beauty. So while the Botox and the exfoliation and all the things that women go through to try to maintain their youth, they're aging faster, even with the soft, cushy management jobs. And that's what's happening. And they know it. And so while they want to still be beautiful, they're not elongating the opportunity to be that because they got to get their ass to work if they want to pay the bills. And so that brings sadness. Whereas me and Hink, and you know, Hink says, you know, he money over last time that I checked, you know, first get the money, then respect, then the power and the hoes come next. That's Nipsey Hussle. We go out there and work. We don't have no problem working. When Hink gets his new house, he's gonna be in the backyard. He's gonna be out there with all his tools, no problem, because Hink is built for that. His woman ain't built for that. And if the women that's out here buying their homes that don't have the money to necessarily get a contractor to do the work and they're trying to do it themselves, they may put it on Instagram and make it seem like it's fun to remodel the second bedroom and all that kind of stuff, but they don't know what they're doing at Home Depot, and they're not even built. They shouldn't even be there. So, and because it's aging them and it's wearing them out, and they got to be to work at Monday on time, and they only get a 45-minute break and 45-minute lunch, 2 15-minute breaks, and they back at the job again. And they got to listen to a whole boss that don't even love them. It's just, they're not designed for that, man. And you're going to see them on the train, sad as a motherfucker, every weekday.
So, Shannon, I have a question. And I know that this stat came up before in our King Talk conversation. Women today own more homes than men. I'm very curious to understand the paradox of this new phenomenon, and do many people understand the maintenance and upkeep that it is required to maintain a home in terms of landscaping, yard, painting, just replacing light bulbs, every single component of it. Something
Louis,
breaks.
Well,
if
Louis,
your
I was
toilet,
about to say, I got a
if
running
your
theory
toilet
for
goes
that.
out right now, if your toilet goes out right now and it doesn't flush, every man on this panel will figure it out. We don't necessarily need to call a plumber to figure out why the toilet is running and running and running. We know to take off the top of the back of the toilet, move over, take a look and see what's going on. Oh, this orange plunger thing is worn out. I need to run to Home Depot and get another one. That's what it would cost all of us $9.95 plus tax. The woman homeowner, she don't do that. She wouldn't even want to lift the fucking back of the toilet. It's $99 per visit for her to have a plumber come out and fix it. When your check engine light comes on, when your tires are low, when you hear a knock, and every time you turn and you hear, is that my CV joint? Every time I turn hard on my car, okay, what's getting ready to go bad? These things that we kind of know. So when it comes to home ownership, when the that's why what did we say? The smoke detector beep is the single woman's detector, because they don't even know to change the 9-volt battery in the smoke detectors, much less figure out why that power outlet doesn't have no power, or how come the washer and how come the dryer is not drying the clothes as fast as it's supposed to, because they don't understand the cleaning out the lint. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that goes into home ownership that, yeah, they're buying the houses because they're told to go buy the houses, or they're getting them in divorce, right? But then when it comes to maintaining that houses, them shits is falling apart.
Yeah, I was gonna I got a running theory on that, Louise. So I think because when I talk to men, right, when they buy homes, they tend to buy for one or two reasons. One, either as investment properties, or you know what I mean, they building a family, or they already had a family and they trying to move, move their family into a new home. Whereas to Shannon's point, when women buy a lot of their houses, it's not really for that. It's the next stage. It's the next thing that they need to do on the list. It's the what I have to do. So they tend to go out there and they buy their homes so they outnumber men, because if men ain't getting married, if he ain't got the money to invest in no property, he not gonna buy no home if there ain't nobody to put it in there with him. He'll rent to the end of his days for all he cares. So I think that's the reason why women tend to lead men in home ownership, is because they look at it as that check mark off the list. Whereas men look at it as, if I need it, I'll do it. But if it ain't making me no money, I'm gonna say fuck that house.
All right,
that's my own running theory on it.
Yeah, I like that, Sweeney. We do got a transition. So we was talking about women's happiness, and this brings the discussion of Tia Mowry. Now, I think it might have been Sunday, or it could have been a Tuesday, when we played Corey Hardrict, his response to how life is after divorce. So I think it's only fair that I play that. And then I got a couple videos of Tia. She's dating. So there's a video of her discussing how dating is for her. And then there's also a video of her turning 46 and what life is like at the age of 46. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video of Corey Hardrict, and then we'll go ahead and knock the two out the park.
It's tough when it feels like you're going through something alone and no one understands, and no one's there for you, and it's just like, when you're a man, especially a black man, they're like, oh, he's tough, he's strong, but it was a year and a half crying myself to sleep every night. Nobody see that. Yeah. Nobody see that. Yeah. You live 5 minutes away from your babies, you know what I'm saying? Because people who know Corey Hardrict know that his kids and his family was everything to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm stronger than I thought I was. Yes. I'm really stronger. And that by the grace of God, it's like, I'm here and I'm still going.
Anybody can add to it. I ain't gonna go around the panel, but anybody want to add to it. Corey Hardrict speaks on life after divorce.
I appreciate his honesty. I appreciate his honesty, and I think I'll feel that exact same way. If I went from being with my kids every day to having to see them sporadically, that'll break my heart. Like that should have fucked me up. Fuck me up. I can't even hold you. I think it's sad that the way she speaks about it and the way he speaks about it is dramatically different. It just makes me feel like she's extremely selfish. I really feel like that woman is extremely selfish, because a man that talk about his family like that, unless there's something he's hiding that we don't know about, it probably means he was trying to do everything to make that family work. And to break that apart, it just feels extremely wrong to me. But yeah.
Listen,
yeah,
man,
you got
twice married, twice divorced, right here. Divorce is hard on men because us men take it as a personal failure. We look at our families, we look at what we created, we look at our woman, our children, the dog, the picket fence, the cars, the house, as something that we are coaching into greatness. And when your team loses to the point that the team breaks up, we take it as a personal failure. Typically speaking, generally speaking, women take divorce as someone else failed her. Even if she did something wrong, it was his fault that she did it. So when you see Corey sitting on that couch and he's crying, he's talking about him crying at night. Nobody sees that, and he's calling himself strong because he's still here and he's able to talk about it finally. You know, remember, men don't typically talk about this shit. Women they tell it. You're gonna hear about their problems before they even make it to the divorce court. It's all on the social media, and it's always. But guys don't. They don't say shit. They just don't say nothing. It's because we sit around and say, damn, what the fuck where did I go wrong? Did I pick the wrong woman? Did I not do it right? Did I not make love to her right? Did I not make enough money? How come? Why did she cheat on me? What did I do to make her go cheat on me? Or how come she's always like, what did I buy the wrong food? She gained weight. So it's my fault she gained weight because I've been buying the wrong groceries and stuff. Everything that goes wrong is our fault. And we take it that way. And we're taught to take it that way. Whereas everything for her, it's a liberation. She's strong and she made it through. Even if she went out and she was sucking and fucking the pool boy, it's still, the reason she's fucking and sucking the pool boy is because you didn't do what you're supposed to do as a proper husband. So, man, Corey, he speaks on life after divorce. It's fucked up because men are the leaders, right? You guys are the leaders. So lead. And if you don't lead and you find yourself at divorce, you feel like it's all my fault, man.
I think it just hurt worse whenever you get leveled up, you get brought on, you get chosen. From my understanding, I think Corey was a Walmart cart pusher or some shit, and they saw him at a rehearsal and picked him up, walking to the rehearsal, and he got in the car, and then it was off to the races. I think it hurts worse whenever you get let go. If somebody brought you on, she was the bag, she was the breadwinner, and she put you on, you know what I'm saying, and leveled you up. It hurts worse to be fired than to lose a good employee.
What?
I mean, that's just my opinion, bro. I think it hurts worse to be let go, just to be suddenly let go from a job you love, than for somebody that's a good employee that's working under you to say, hey, look, I found another job or another opportunity. I mean, if that makes sense to anybody.
Bruiser, all that shit, all that eloquent shit you heard from Shannon, and you came and followed it up with that shit.
Yeah, I'm my own man. I have my own
man.
It doesn't matter what anybody say before me or after me. I'm gonna speak from how I feel, my way.
Always done
that. So you should look.
Don't mistake is not that far-fetched. But the paradigm in that is when you take your vows. And this is something that, okay, that's where it falls flat. For richer, for poorer, for sicker, and in good health, and yada yada that comes after that. You know what type of man that you laid down with, you had kids with. you had great moments and memories with, and your reasons for leaving him is financial. The majority of, from what I saw, it was financial. This man wanted to hold on to his family. He did not go out into the public and broadcast that they were having problems because he loved her so much. But she had no problem going out in the public and misappropriating the whole situation. Then there was a point before she started dating, she said the pickings was slim. And she's propagating it like he was the problem. Like Marcus said earlier, selfish.
Hey,
you put a dollar before your kids, your husband. That same man, and the way he speaks, and if you look at his body language, he still has love for her. But he's on the baby come back tour, sitting on couches from empathetic sisters that are standing up and clapping for him because they know what he had to go through. He should have been the one to meet Ayanna Van Zandt and get the hug.
Kenny, in my opinion, I think he in the position. Now, this could just be my bias in life and what I think, but I think he in the perfect position to find the best woman possible. And every man that I know that got divorced, that wanted to be remarried, got remarried with a better version of their wife or a better version of whoever they broke up with. And she didn't want him back till he got married. And then she's sitting there. She's like all those wives that I know, they've been the divorcee. They stayed single the entire rest of the time. And he just was able to continue to move up. Like, it's sad because he was hurt and he wanted to be within that relationship. But at the end of the day, there's going to come a point, if it hasn't already come, where she realizes that she does not have the options that her friends convinced her via TikTok that she was going to have in Kendra G shows. And the men that she don't like women like her anymore. And that shit going to hurt. She will feel his pain eventually.
Mark, did you hear?
Will eventually feel his pain.
Did you hear her dating experience?
Yes, Wayne. We're gonna go ahead and transition to that right now.
Oh damn! Shit, I'm moving ahead of the cut.
Yeah.
Listen to this story, y'all. And
Right,
tell me y'all don't get a good chuckle.
You're that guy in the movie that is telling the whole next scene because you don't see the movie like 8 times.
I ain't see the movie. Hold on, I didn't see the movie.
All right, here we
I
go,
didn't know
man.
I was gonna cover this.
Yeah, Tia Mowry is dating.
All right, guys, what's up? I'm gonna try to do something different on my Instagram. I have entered the dating scene, and I thought that as I take off my makeup, I would share some of my horror stories. Of course, no names will be named. I decided to go out on this date with this one guy. We decided to meet at a restaurant, and I was like, okay, fine, let's try that. What could go wrong? Now, mind you, I did know what this person looked like beforehand. Oh my God, I'm getting PTSD just telling this story. This is my life. So he ends up showing up, and he's a lot shorter than I thought that he was gonna be, which was pretty interesting, but no judgment here. But what was surprising to me was he ended up showing up with a grill in his mouth to a dinner. So the first thing that I'm thinking about as he sits down to order his food is, oh my God, where is this grill going to go? Oh my goodness. He's just ordering drinks and all of that. Great, awesome. He orders his food. And then again, I'm just really trying to figure out where is he going to put this grill. So our food finally comes to the table. And again, I'm just like, okay, where is this grill gonna go? And I was like, no, he's not just gonna take it out of his mouth and just put it on the table. Guess what? He took it out of his mouth and he put it on the table. Right there on the table. I mean, at least he had a napkin, right? But still, you guys, like, what the hell? Like, really, bro? How
Pay
old are
attention to
we?
that makeup coming off.
That
Pay
is
attention.
just, I don't know. It was just surprising and a little tasteless, in my opinion. It was gross, you know what I mean? Like, this is like your first date. It's like first impressions, you know what I mean? And he just decides to put this grill right on the table as we eat. And as we're eating, I'm just like, At that moment, I truly wish that I had been on a speed date, you know, when you can just tap out. But unfortunately, I couldn't. It was a dinner and it went on longer than I wanted it to. Girls, let me know in the comments if I am like overreacting. If you're like, girl, ain't nothing wrong with a little grill on the table. After that experience, I did start to see that people are wearing more grills these days. I guess, I don't know, am I out of sync or out of touch? I don't know. Would y'all ever see me with a grill? So that was the first interesting date. I've realized that this is a part of the journey. You know what I mean? This is all a process, and this is what I didn't, you know, go through in my 20s. It's been interesting, but it's also been fun getting to know me, getting to know what it is that, you know, I like and what it is that I don't like. It's just a process. Love you guys. Mwah.
She was
Oh man! Hey!
You need to take her old ass back home with her kids and beg for his forgiveness. Use goods. You don't have a leg to stand on when you're going out with nobody. And that laugh is disgusting. I give that man a Purple Heart for all the years he had to hear that in the next room, and he couldn't throw like a Timberland boot at her. Take your ass home.
Did you see that
to your
makeup come off,
husband.
Kitty?
Yeah.
You was
Did you see that?
damaged
Yeah,
goods.
she was Asian.
I
You was
fucking
damaged
love
goods. She
It
ain't
was
up
bad.
on the times. Go home. Kiss his feet. Hopefully he take you back.
Hey, look,
Nah,
I get it.
nah.
I get it. I get it. Everybody hate her. But damn, really,
we
nobody
don't.
wants to talk about the grill
Wait,
being on the
if you
fucking.
hear me, hate
Well,
her.
well, if we're gonna talk about
go
the grill,
back to her requirement. Do not do that, Darwin. She needs to go back to her husband and beg for his forgiveness.
I'm not gonna argue on that. I agree with you. But are we gonna just ignore the? Okay, so like if men are watching this and like, okay, is that cool to put the grill on her? I don't think that was cool. What do y'all think?
So you mean
I
tell me
think
she didn't
that
know that this nigga wore a
she's
grill
too
before
old.
she seen him?
Yeah. If she's,
Yeah, but I mean,
listen, if
okay,
she's gonna complain about him being too
I don't
old
think
to
she
wear a grill,
anticipated him putting his grill on the table.
Where else are you gonna put your grill?
where you gonna put it?
I would assume I'm not a grill wearer, but me just
I guess-
using my.
Where would
Hold
you,
on,
where
let
would
me
you suggest he put it then?
Just let me
Where would you
answer.
suggest he put the
Damn.
grill?
Let me just answer. Let me just answer.
I'm gonna tell you if you're wrong.
Not a grill. I'm not a grill wearer. But if I was just to use my smarts, I would think there would be somewhere on Amazon a fucking case that has some fabric in there that you can just has the mold of your grill that you could just slide that motherfucker on and shut that bitch up and put it in your pocket or some shit.
Hold on. All right. It was our grill.
I'm just
case.
assuming.
I
mean, if I
that.
was
You
a
could-
grill
you could put
wearer,
it in-
these are the
you
type
could
of
put it in
things
a
I would
retainer
look
case.
for.
Of course, you could put it in a retainer case. We get it.
That's
But if
all I'm
she's gonna
saying.
talk about him being too old to be wearing a grill, and she a little bit too old to be wearing fake ass eyelashes too. Like,
No,
well, yeah, we can talk about her. I mean, if y'all want to just talk about her, let's do that. But I was just saying, like, I
think it was
I
a
just
bad
seen
date. She
everybody.
shouldn't have picked
I just seen everybody double dutch their way into just saying what she was doing, but nobody talked about the grill.
well, that's what we talking about.
Do you think she if she would have put it in?
Huh? We're speaking more of the reason why we almost all of us came off the mic and was talking about how she looked one way when the video started and looked completely different at the end is because a lot of it is the audacity, and she was like going but you know what is he? Okay, and I see what you're saying. Like, I guess my question would be this, Darwin: why is she going on a date with somebody that she don't know wear a grill?
I don't think she cared whether he wore a grill. I think she was just disgusted at what he did with the grill when he took it out.
She was disgusted that he had a grill.
She was she emphasized that he had a grill, like as if she didn't know, like you didn't know who you were going out with. So I almost want to say, was that a fake story?
Maybe his pictures or how she met him, he didn't have his grill. I'm just assuming.
Listen,
come on, man.
Women. The thing.
I mean, how else would she not know that he didn't?
I'm gonna say this, Bruiser. Have you ever went out in public?
There we go. Thank you, JR.
Have you ever
went out? Know that shit exists. I just threw that shit out of my ass. I mean, my head. Pause.
Bruiser, I'm gonna ask you this: have you ever went out in public to like a nice place, proudly wearing something that you wouldn't wear on a regular basis?
On a regular basis,
like you wouldn't have a picture of it, of you in it, or none of that. You wouldn't like something that you wouldn't proudly say, "Yeah, I got this. Check this out." That you would wear to a fancy restaurant or out in public to a nice place or something like that. You telling me you wouldn't have no profile pictures of that, or
I would have. Yes, I would have photos of my best look or best outfit or best accessory or whatever. Yeah, I would have some type of photos.
So what I'm saying is that nigga wore a grill to a date. She know he had grills.
Hey, Darwin, real quick, you ever like wore one of those?
So she's probably lying then, but
Darwin, real quick. You ever wore one of those? I know you like the 00 Negro. You like wearing them nice suits and talking sweet. You ever have one of them Dumb and Dumber top hats and you went out there on wrong occasion? Something like
a boat hat?
Yeah, one of them big ass ones that got Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory.
No, I don't own that. Nah.
Women rarely ever do better than their baby daddy or their ex-husband. It's almost always a downgrade later on in life. Now, I get it. Hypergamy is what they want, but they rarely get it. And when it comes to men rarely ever do worse than their ex. Oftentimes for men, it's usually a level up. It's just the way it is. Everybody knows it. Men and women both know it, whether we want to argue about it or agree with it. And so when she wants to do her little get undressed with me video and talk about the guy, what did you expect? You knew the job was dangerous when you took it, when you went to the divorce court. So what did you expect? And I don't know why so many people or women particularly are surprised at what they're running into, and the dating market is filled with pee and all this other kind of stuff. But what you thought? You thought you was gonna go out and get better than what you had? No, that's not how it works. It's not typically how it works.
I think one of the things that bother me most, because it's one thing to like see regular ass women do this shit. It's a whole nother thing when you tell Mowry. Like that dude gotta watch that video and see you shit on him and his grill.
She didn't say his name though.
But that's what I'm saying. He knows who she is. So he has to go and watch her shit on him and his grill. She probably ain't even say shit to him.
I think it's fake.
I was just about to say that. I think she made that shit up. I ain't gonna hold you.
I think she made it up too. But let's say for the second, because y'all always get mad at me when I say the shit fake. So I'm gonna assume that it's all true.
Thank you.
If it is nice, Sweeney, if it is true, I think the thing that really happened was she was taller than him, or that height thing really made her unattractive. Because
she took a couple shots. She was like, he was short.
And she said that before the grill. She listed that, but she just threw that grill on the back end. If he would have been the height she thought, if it's real, if strong fucking if it's real, if dude, the type of person that'll wear a grill, like to your point, Sweeney, also got clothing that say I potentially wear a grill. She was more than likely dating a street nigga, and she knew that the height is the only thing that threw her off. I'm almost sure.
I guarantee she was dating like a middle-aged ex-rappers.
She's short though. She's only like 5'5".
I guarantee
He might have been shorter than she normally used to. Because 5'5" with 5-inch heels, or what's the normal heel size that people be wearing?
Well, I mean, like
6 inch.
4 inches.
Yeah, like if he was about 5'7", I can say if she was some heels, she'd probably be taller than him. So he might have been taller than her without heels, and she probably wore heels if she went on that date.
Yeah, 4 is normal and 6 is stilettos. So she could, if she has stilettos on, she's up there touching 5'10", 5'11".
And now you know how like when you hungry, you be madder about things than normal.
Yep.
She was turned off by the height thing, so now everything else get blown out of proportion.
And actually, if you notice another thing that she did, she hyper focused on the grill. Like before he ever did anything with his grill, she kept saying, I wonder what he gonna do with the grill. I wonder what he gonna do with the grill. She wasn't hearing shit this man had to say. She wasn't seeing what this man had to order, how he was treating her, how he treated the waitress. None of that. All she was focused on is, if this nigga put this grill on this table, I swear to God, I'm gonna scream. That was her mindset. She was basically, y'all remember the movie, what was the name of that movie? With Gabrielle Union? And she was getting set up with the, Daddy's Little Girls. You remember when she was in the back seat and said, if I see another motherfucker with a jersey, I'm gonna scream? That was her mindset. She was like, if this nigga put this fucking grill on it, and that's all she could think about.
You know what?
She would have been attracted to him.
I mean, but the question is, he just
there was something that stuck with me that she said when she was about to end the video. She only asked the women if she was tripping about the date. She asked specifically for the women to comment if she was tripping or not at the end of the video. And right then and there, I knew what type of times. I mean, we already know this.
That is okay. And I just really, really appreciate all of you guys for just sticking with me. And I love you. Mwah. Bye.
This is social media.
That's that. I'm enjoying this journey, and I really look forward to another year. I look forward to just amazing, beautiful, wonderful things happening, whether that's with my family, with my friends, with my career, just with life in general, and with you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for riding with me through thick and thin. Sometimes, things happen, and life is up, life is down at times, and that is okay. And I just really, really appreciate all of you guys for just sticking with me. And I love you. Mwah. Bye.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that up, about her just asking the women, is because that's just likely how she does, right? And women typically give horrible relationship advice to other women, particularly single women, right? Unhappy women. They will give you the worst advice in the world and set you up for straight up failure. And she probably thought, like Shannon said, that she was going to be able to go up, but she has to realize how the sexual marketplace works.
So you think it's smart
get older,
for her,
as you age, as you age as a woman? She already got 2 kids, right? Wasn't there 2? They got 2 kids or whatever, or a couple, a few, whatever. Either way, she's a single mom. That right there lowers your value dramatically, because a dude coming in knows he's going to have to be a father likely to those children, whereas women typically don't care as much as a man would going into a relationship. He's not trying to hit her like, damn, you got the kids. Oh man. So that automatically is going to lower your value straight up. She's aged. She can't produce any children for anybody. It's extremely unlikely that any man that she wants is going to be able to get children from her. Whereas a man who might be in his 40s, 46, he could get children just fine if he wants to. So he'll just grab him a tenderoni. Where he going to mess with that old thing for? It don't make no sense. Why
Does
would he
anybody
want
on
her?
this panel want kids right now? Any more kids?
What have to do with us?
I'm just asking.
I'm just saying she's in the dating market. Most of us are married.
Some of these kids get out of Pampers.
Most of us
All I'm
are
asking
married.
is,
We don't
anybody
really
on
want
this
that.
panel
That's a good question that Darwin is asking, because Trev, that's a good question that Darwin's asking, because the men that she's gonna be looking for probably don't want kids anyway.
I don't want kids.
They probably are older men. She's 40-something years old. She's checking for niggas like me. So
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to me, I got to understand if you date somebody younger, then they're going to want kids, especially if they don't have them. But somebody that's older that already had kids, then like they're okay with not having any. And especially her age, she probably won't be able to. She probably wouldn't want to do it because she
It's
wouldn't.
extremely unlikely.
But she just had a birthday on July 6th, and she posted a video what life is like at the age of 46. I'm going to go ahead and play that video right now.
What's up? So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your birthday wishes. Really, you guys have been there for me since the beginning of my career. So I just wanted to do a personal video just to say thank you. 46 years old. Cray cray. One thing that has changed, as you can see, is I'm wearing glasses, y'all. I cannot see without them. I wanted to share with you, or I wanted to answer some questions for you guys. So the first question is, what does turning 46 mean to me? I feel like I am in the third trimester of my life. 46 to me means staying present, but just learning more about my why. Why am I the way that I am? Why do I behave the way I behave? And also focusing on where I want to be and who I want to be. I think 46 for me is focusing on how my thoughts and my behaviors are in alignment, meaning whatever it is that I want for myself, whatever it is that I think of, I do. I speak in analogies, you guys, but I think there have been times in my life where I'm looking at myself in a mirror, right? And sometimes in that mirror, I'm further ahead, which is inspiration, right? Is what what I inspire to be or what I inspire to do. Where does Tia see herself? And then there are times where I see myself, you know, behind myself, meaning I'm seeing myself in the past. But now I feel like for the first time in a long time, you guys, I actually see myself right beside myself, meaning I am in alignment with myself, which, you know, it feels good. 46 means peace to me. What advice would I give to my younger 36-year-old self? Let's see, where was I? Where was I when I was 36 years old? I think I can just focus on maybe where I was mentally. I think I would tell myself that it is okay to want more for yourself. It is okay to say no. It is okay to value what you desire, value your self-worth. It is okay to not be perfect. It is okay to speak your truth. It is okay to be you. The advice that I have for people entering their 40s, let's see, really enjoy the ride. In your 40s, you start to really realize how short life is. Mainly because I think when you're in your 40s, you start to see loved ones leave you. The perspective that it gave me was how short life really is. Continue to walk with gratitude, right? Because wearing these glasses, having this gray hair, that is a privilege. That is a blessing to be able to be here and to get the opportunity to live. I feel like it is the biggest and best blessing. The advice that I would give is understand that change is constant. You're not going to be young forever. Know that change is okay. And also know that there are better things on the horizon. That life is really what you make of it. I think how I've changed from 45 to 46, another thing is I am no longer a people pleaser. I feel like I used to feel like I had to say yes to everything, even though it wasn't something that I wanted to do. And it could be just like influences from society and the world. You should be this way, you should be that way, you should be this by this time. I feel like how I've changed is I am living my life now. I am living the life that I want to live for myself. Whatever decisions that I decide to do and make, I'm very mindful about it. Does that align with what I want for myself? Does that align with what I want for my future self? And then also I think the word for me is reciprocity. It's like I actually am worth reciprocity. And it doesn't matter where it is, whether it's in the workforce, whether that's in friendship, or whether that's in relationships. I am just looking for reciprocity, and it has been a game changer for me. I've definitely become an avid reader. I was not reading as many books as I was reading then. I can say I've read about 6 books in the past year and a half. So that's that. I'm enjoying this journey, and I really look forward to another year. I look forward to just amazing, beautiful, wonderful things happening, whether that's with my family, with my friends, with my career, just with life in general, and with you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for riding with me through thick and thin. Sometimes, you know, things happen, and life is up, life is down at times, and that is okay. And I just really, really appreciate all of you guys for just sticking with me. And I love you. Mwah. Bye.
All right, so Tia's married. She just turned 46, and she's basically describing what her life is like at the age of 46. And the thing that stuck out to me, and even in the comments, is me, myself, and I. I think that I don't think anybody wants to be alone. I really think that people sometimes they don't have a choice, whether it's early, whether it's later. And unfortunately, I think that she doesn't really have a choice at this time right now. So what you're hearing is basically the life that she has to live now that she is divorced. So the only thing I was hearing was just me, myself, and I. It wasn't about anybody else. And typically when somebody is in a terrible relationship or a divorce or something like that, I mean, you have no really choice but to say that because you're alone at that point. So let me get you guys' thoughts about it. Tia, married at the age of 46. What was you guys' thoughts about it?
Well, let me say this real fast.
The thing is,
I got a great
go ahead. Go ahead. Hey, we haven't heard from you all night. Hey, go ahead.
No, man. Look, to me, I think she's probably going to get a couple more dates or go on a couple more dates, and then she's probably going to spin the block, man. Praying and hoping Corey stays single and unmarried. I think that's probably going to need to be her plan. You know, go on a couple more dates. Maybe that would allow her to have some level of appreciation for him and realize that everything about their relationship wasn't that bad. You know, it could have been worse. You know, I'm sure she's heard a few horror stories, seen some horror stories on social media, and heard some of them while she was on The View. You know, maybe seen some of her friends go out real bad. I think she's going to end up spinning a block. Give her about 2 more dates, especially another dude with a grill, which we all know more likely he's a pookie. Give her a couple more pookie dates, and she'll be ready to come back and reevaluate some shit. So, yeah, Jay, like you said, it was a whole lot of stuff, you know. But what is she doing to work on herself? What is she doing to maybe fix the mistakes that she may have done in the relationship? Because I know she's not completely innocent, even though she may tell herself she is. She's done nothing wrong. She's graduated on some. Yeah, it sounds like you don't have no stick-wittedness. You know, sound like you are not in it for the long haul. You enjoy the marriage while it lasted. You wasn't in it. You didn't have your lunch pail. You didn't have your hard head ready to put that work in. When it got hard and contentious, you was ready to get up out of there. You was ready to bounce. So I mean, I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah, I think she was the first, I would say one of the first cases of the soft era. I don't know if you heard of that, drizzle, whatever. She pretty much carried Corey, I want to say, as far as financially. I mean, I might be a little bit off on that as far as the accuracy of the numbers or whatever. But I think she was in way over her head, and she realized, I'm just assuming that's where the term graduated coming from. I think typically women do well, or they fare well whenever the man is leading, or he's the one that's carrying the weight or the brunt of the resources and direction in the relationship. And I guess she realized that and she didn't want to deal with it no more. I mean, that's just what I see. Maybe somebody else sees something different.
It's a good
They're
question.
trying to change it to us. Listen, just like that last person, Nita, it's gonna be all right, girl. You're gonna find a man, everything gonna be okay. Somebody gonna scoop you up because you light skinned and the whole no. She's old. She ain't a grape no more. She's a prune. Take your ass home to your man and rekindle something. Beg for his forgiveness. She gonna find out. She gonna have that one date. She gonna think it's the guy. He gonna give her some henny dick, and then discard her, and she gonna feel some type of way. Then she gonna realize, you know what, pickings is really slim. Let me go back to what I know. Her life. She had a 13-year-old, 6-year-old. You've been married to this man for God knows how long. He knows you. You know him. You have never expressed, and I've actually dug into it because I was like, let me look at see what's there. He's bellowed his love for his wife and how he wished to work it out and keep the relationship. He's never been accused of any DV, anything weird within it. Just a man fighting to keep his relationship. And the only thing that she could point out is that he wasn't working and the rose wasn't coming in.
She's not going back.
She said.
So I look Corey net worth up. He worth $3 million, and they say she worth $4 million. So I mean,
well, I
don't even think that if that's real. I mean, I don't know if it's real or not, but that's what they listed at. $3 million for him, $4 million for her. The thing that really bothered me about you say he worth more or less.
No, I'm saying Corey is a working actor.
Yeah. So the thing that bothered me the most about this is, as a parent with children that young, 6 and 13, like again, I just keep the word selfish just keep running through. Unless there's something that's just so egregious that occurred that she just don't want to put their business out there, then maybe it makes sense. But outside of that, you said I need to make you think I want to clean diapers? Like you think people like if people that were parents only did the things they want to do, our kids that had diaper rashes, they wouldn't eat sometimes. Like sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do at the moment because it's what's best for your family. Like to just talk about your happiness nonstop and only care about yourself when you have young children is wild to me.
You don't want to change diapers, bro?
This ain't about her age to me. She could have been 19. To make a decision that's just focused on yourself, to me, like I prioritize children as something. Once you have them, your life is not yours alone at that point. You have to put things to the side for the betterment of those kids. Like they didn't choose to be here. So if you were unhappy, you shouldn't have had no kids with that person and then found somebody or just didn't have no kids. But to break your whole family up for marginal happiness, to me is wild. That to me is extremely wild. And
Marcus,
then yeah.
You said you up for the kids, like you kid. That's number one. But then you said if it was up to you and you had your way, or I don't know if it was you talking about yourself, but you said the kid was to have a rash. Like nobody want to change diapers, clean shit or whatever.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is I don't get excited to go change diapers. That's not the thing that make me happy. You know what I'm saying? Like I change them. I don't have a problem doing it, but it's not like, oh, this is what makes me happy is changing diapers. When my general point is when you put somebody before yourself well-being, you don't say things like, oh, it just made me happier to be single than to be in a marriage with the father of my kid. Also, it's almost like I don't care what my kids think. I don't care what nobody think. This is what I want to do. This is what makes me happy. I'm just going to be by myself and we'll figure it out. The kids can see their father whenever I have time for them to see their father. To me, that is one of the most selfish things anyone can do. Remove themselves from their kid, male or female, and partially see them on purpose.
Dude.
You know what, Marcus? And somebody just put in the chat said, did anybody ever think that she's saving his image? Why would she put out why she wasn't wanted a divorce? It's nobody business. If she wasn't happy, then hey.
Sweeney.
Hold on, wait.
She bashed him already. That's incorrect.
No, it ain't even that. The fact that y'all sit here and tell us that we should just chalk it up because she was unhappy and she wanted to end her marriage, that's exactly the reason why don't nobody want to fucking marry y'all ass. That's exactly the reason why. Because you can just bounce because you're unhappy. So when y'all ask us these questions, why ain't men marrying? Why aren't men chasing us? Why aren't men doing this? Why aren't men doing that? It's because of bullshit like that. Because y'all just bounce whenever y'all want to bounce.
So, Sweeney, if you got a divorce, would you rather your wife keep the internal news between y'all, or would you rather go out on social media and tell her why the hell she
You heard all that, and that's the question you had?
I'm just asking.
I'll answer it. Sweeney, let me answer it. I'll answer it. I would rather that if you want to be private, you keep all of this shit private. You don't come and make it seem like this was a great idea. You just say, hey, we separated and we asked for privacy for our family. And y'all do whatever you need to do behind the scenes. But to go out and promote it like this is a great idea. If I'm sitting at home and I'm 7 and I see my mom pop up on a TikTok and I'm wishing my father was at home and I see her talking about a date with a nigga with some grill and my father can't come home, I would hate her. Like with a passion. I would begin to, something inside me would start to fester when it comes to my mother about some shit like that. You just took my father away so you can go fuck around with niggas with grills at restaurants and do your makeup in the middle of the night and do stupid TikTok dances. You selfish fucking woman. Like that shit bothers me.
Oh, wait. I'm missing something. They can't see their father?
Not when they want to.
Oh, they can't see their father when they want to.
Do he live with him?
Marcus is fired up. I ain't never heard Marcus talk to a woman.
I'm just asking questions to get clarity.
Good evening, guys.
You're married, Darwin. You're married, Sweeney. Duty. That's what she wanted to relinquish herself from. Duty.
Shannon, you got to understand how my brain works. It goes protect the wife, then protect the kids. The wife, if I'm not around, the wife protects the kids. So I'll be against women on behalf of kids and against men on behalf of women because I protect in that order. So I view her role in the family as the secondary line of protection for the kids. And she is shunned it, the primary role. To me, I despise that at the very core of my being. Like, man. Yeah. She's
wow.
She's
unfucking believable, bro.
What?
Unfucking believable.
You about to get some lashes.
I gotta say this to you guys. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Kenny, tell us about your wives that you put.
What's unbelievable?
Never do that in Nigeria. They couldn't run out the village under your watch. Go, I'm ready.
Not even in the village, even in the township, they can't do that shit. Even in the city, they can't do that shit. But this is one thing. I think you guys said something earlier during the podcast. You guys said that women today are messed up in prescription and stuff. But I gotta say this: these women don't care. You know why they don't care? Because there is no consequences to their actions. There is none, zero. Who is going to check them? Nobody. Nobody can do shit. We can say whatever we want to say on podcasts, but nobody can touch them. Nobody, no culture can hold her responsible. As long as there is no cultural responsibility or cultural consequences in the United States, women will always do what they want and get away with it. They will do it and get away because nobody can check her. No community to hold her responsible. The reason why the community is breaking down, and even in Nigeria, the community is slightly breaking down now, is because they want to do away with consequences. And it's very bad. It's just like your child at home. When there is no consequences to your child's result from school, guess what? He's going to keep failing those classes because there is no consequences. There is none. Nobody, even the husband, can check her. If he checks her, guess what? He loses everything he got. He's going to lose a lot.
Kenny, what are some of the consequences you put on the table for a contentious woman?
Kenny
A contentious.
Mind your business, Sweeney.
The the most painful consequences to a treacherous woman like that is being able to take her kids away from her. Where there is culture, she can't have access to her kids because they see her as a mental breakdown. She's having a mental breakdown. They will take her kids. In fact, when a woman leaves her husband's house, she's not supposed to have access to her children. Not that she can't see her children, but she can't take the kids with her. She can't move out of the house with the kids. Because kids stays with he who or she who is stable. Kids don't stay with the unstable person. So that's the consequences, number one. Number two, she's going to get chastised or orchestrated by the community itself. The mom will not agree with what she did. The father is not going to accept her to be back in the house by leaving her husband's house for no reason, just because of how she feels. No. Her brothers and sisters, they will make that house so uncomfortable for her. You guys said earlier that black women in America are buying more houses than men, right? It's because of this reason. So that a woman can do whatever she wants and move into her own house and nobody can come to her house to check her. But if she has to go back to her parents' house, guess what? She will be checked. Things are going to be said. Her dad will make that house uncomfortable. Her mom will make that house uncomfortable. But today, women move out of their husband's house to their own house. So they never get to go back to their parents' house where they're supposed to be checked.
Men do the
so there
same,
is no
right?
consequences.
Men move out
A
so
man,
they don't got to be checked by their parents too, right? Can we say the same?
a man comes with a house naturally. It's backward for a man to move out of a house. That's why it's messed up. A man doesn't leave his own house because that's why he has, number one, a man has a house and brings his family in, right? So when it doesn't work out, she moves. He doesn't move out.
So
It's
everybody,
backward that the man has to move out.
so everybody's messed up, basically, what you're saying.
No, a man doesn't, the castle belongs to the man. The man never leaves the castle.
That's not what he said, though. Come on now.
No, but he didn't.
No.
If that's not what he said, then he didn't even answer what I said. Because I said, you said that a woman leaves out of the house and go get her own house, so nobody can check her and her parents can't check her.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, don't a man do the same? Don't he move out of his parents' house so he can go have his own home, and nobody can check him and his parents can't check him.
What you just, Bruiser, what you just said right now doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because a man moves out of his father's house.
Don't even answer. If it don't make no sense, don't even answer. Because I don't know how.
But because we have people in the background, we have audience that are going to get confused by what you said. When a man moves out of his house, when he moves out of his father's house, he starts his own house. That's nature. A man's supposed to leave his father's house to start his own house. Then brings his wife and children into it. So you don't stay in your father's house past certain age. That is just unnatural.
What did I say that was different than that?
You switched the paradigm.
You didn't say anything.
You switched the paradigm like it's an equal value.
That's what you did.
A man does not go under a woman's covering.
I never said that a man goes under a woman's covering.
You switched the paradigm. Okay, so the same could be said for a man. That is exactly what you said. But here's the caveat. A man does not go under a woman's covering. A woman
that's not what I was arguing though, but
I just repeated what you said. I just repeated what you said.
What did I say?
Again, you tried to switch the paradigm. Okay, so I guess men are also out of order if they could do the same thing too. But it does not fit because men do not fall under the covering of a woman. Women fall under the covering of a man.
Okay, so let me try to walk you back.
You said
I wasn't talking about the covering of a man or a woman.
I just gave you why it was incorrect. I gave you the platform as for why your statement fell flat. You told me that you're a Christian.
Fine.
You said Bible, so there's God, man, woman, child. There's an order. There's a hierarchy. Yes. Yes.
Sure.
Yes or no?
Sure it is. Yeah.
Okay. So you saying that is just being. It's like
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I don't. Maybe we just don't. I think we're talking about two different things. Maybe we are. I just can't see how.
No, what you said, Bruiser, was. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Respond. Y'all will never understand what I'm saying. All I'm saying right now is we can just agree to disagree. Y'all don't understand what I was just saying, and I don't understand what y'all are saying. There's no way I can connect it with the way y'all are explaining yourselves. So just fuck it. Just
Darwin. When you say something, you have to own it.
I do own it. I didn't own it. I'm saying that we agree to disagree.
Disrespect you. This is not, if I just regurgitated and showed you where it fell flat, and then you follow up as you usually do with your trope. I guess you don't understand what I'm saying, and I guess the stars are bright. And I'm like, what are you talking about? If I could show you, you tried to use the paradigm like what about isms? You tried to switch it around, and you cannot because there's a hierarchy. There's not a woman that you're gonna
maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I what y'all mean by
it makes sense for you, Bruce.
Being checked. Maybe that's probably where the ball was dropped.
No.
What do y'all mean by being checked?
Hello, motherfucker.
Because from my understanding, being checked means somebody gotta police you or somebody's telling you what to do in their home.
Who runs your household, Darwin? Who runs your household?
Okay, can before we move from this point of understanding, I think it's important that you answer that so that we don't continue to confuse each other.
Okay, what question?
What I just said, I think we dropped the ball at what we mean by being checked. So from what I mean with being checked is, if I have somebody living with me, I'm gonna police them and I'm gonna tell them what I want and what they can and what they can't do in my home. So what I'm asking you, is that the same as what y'all mean about being checked?
Because most
being checked is not this.
Kenny, hold on, wait. Because we about to answer a question that don't need to be answered. The reason why what you just said falls flat is because that's not the reason why men leave the house. That's the whole.
I didn't want to get to that yet. I just wanted to understand if we had the same meaning. Because I'm trying to figure out where we dropped the ball at.
It started with you saying, "Don't men also leave the house because they don't want to be checked or controlled?" No, that's not the reason why men leave the nest. That's never been a well. So the first part for the majority of men, that's not the reason. That's not being charged when they leave the nest. They leave the nest to what Kenny is saying is to build their own shit, to bring something to build their own family.
Kenny said
they're
that
not leaving home because I don't want to listen to nobody.
Well, okay, so when you answer that way, then that means that we have the same understanding of what check means.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No, Sweeney, no.
Okay,
you just let him off. You just let him.
Let him off.
Okay, hear me out. It's not the same understanding because he still didn't get it. Here's what he did.
Get it. He just broke it down. I actually do understand it. I'm actually going on the record to say I understand the way he put it.
Okay, wait. You can understand it from Sweeney, but you can't understand it how Kenny parsed it out as well as I.
Let me say something about Bruiser. Bruiser, I got no. I got to say something to you, Bruiser, real quick. Oh, go ahead, JR.
Let me get the white podcast in there real quick.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, guys. How you doing? I've been here in a while. So, what part are we talking about now? Because y'all were going through.
Okay, so I'm gonna pose it to you, and I'm gonna just keep it as simple as possible. So, if a man leaves his house, okay, if you leave your parents' home, does a man that you wish to cleave to fall under your covering, or do you fall under his?
I'm supposed to fall under his.
Okay, are you a God-fearing woman?
Mm-hmm.
You do believe in the hierarchy, God, man, woman, child, yes?
Yes.
So if you were to ever switch that paradigm, a man can never say that you're the lead in the house and you could be comfortable if if you adhered to those tenets. It would make sense with it.
It wouldn't make sense. Plus, it's putting me out of my primary role. There are times where I can understand where you step in and support your partner, as
Which
in this
is
case. If
help me.
he fell off, help me. Okay, okay, we have contingency plans. We have a plan for our family. If anything happened, if we didn't have our savings for 6 months and I'm still working, and you're actively seeking for, like Corey, if he's seeking for another acting role, because we know that business. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off. And so I've accepted that, like you said, coming underneath your leadership. So I expect that we have to have those contingencies in place. But if a woman takes the lead, she is now that man's mother, in a sense.
I digress.
Yeah, I want to say something to Bruiser. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just say this, so I'll let you guys, the next person, continue. Bruiser, when people come on this podcast and talk, and then you may not like their accents, or maybe you not agree to whatever because they're not maybe African American, or you think maybe they commenting to something that might run contrary or something to your likeness, you don't have to attack that person because you learn from each other. You see what I'm saying? This
But
is
I
not the
attacked
first time I've
anyone?
seen. No. This is not the first time I've seen you do that directly to me. You've done that one time. I think it was like 3 months ago, and Kenny was not happy about it, and you did it again today.
So
I
you
learned a
saying I
lot from
do
you
that?
guys. I
You
learned a
saying
lot from you. Let me finish, sir. You go. I learned a lot from you guys. A lot from you guys, and I also expect you guys to learn a lot from me because I'm not a kid. I'm in my 40s, in my mid 40s. And as somebody in his mid 40s with a lot of business acumen, you have a lot to learn from me. I come on this podcast as a sign of respect for all of you. I don't gaslight, and I don't take people for granted. I want all of us to learn from each other, please. So yeah, I say something just like the way Sweeney said it, but you understood him, but you don't understand me. That's okay. People can play whatever game that they have to play, but show respect, brother. Just do that, okay?
Can you finish?
Yes, sir.
Oh, come on,
All
bro.
right, first of all,
Come
I just said I didn't understand you. If you felt that I attacked you, then that wasn't the case. If I attacked you, then I would say, fuck what you're saying, or something like that. Or I don't give a damn what you're saying. Your words don't mean anything. I didn't say anything like that. I just said I didn't understand what you were saying. And I was actually willing to agree to disagree. So now that you've said that and you kind of mischaracterized me, fuck what you're saying. And somebody else can go.
So he didn't mischaracterize you, and I'll take the lead right there, because when he was telling you about Africa and the parity and the GDP, you did not understand. You went for a higher source, which was Shannon. Shannon and I had to take a whole discussion, and then we had to agree to disagree on certain points. And when you are faced with things that are higher than your intellect, you get challenged and do dumb stuff like this. You have to
Are we talking about a whole different stream, man?
that some people have a lot more knowledge than you.
Are we talking about a
tells me
different stream
something,
than this?
watch this, Shannon, have I not conceded to you when I put something out there and it is incorrect? Did you
Multiple
ever
times.
hear me
Brother,
say
you mentioned GDP.
so
What are you talking
you
about?
said you were done. You said you were done, so the floor is mine. So here's what happens. At no point in time with these intelligent brothers up here that give you different paradigms regarding certain things, did you hear me say to Shannon, F you? You presented knowledge to me so that I can at least digest it, take it back. And I didn't give him his full apology regarding the Barbados thing, and the Willie Lynch letter is actually Henry Drax. So watch what I'm going to do right now.
Okay,
Shannon,
so now I know what you're talking
Shannon,
about.
I'm not done.
Go
Shannon, I humbly apologize to you. No F words, no B words, no MFs. You understand? I got it crossed up. So now,
I didn't call nobody a B word.
So no, I was talking about me. Stop including yourself in it. And this is how we grow, because JR is providing us something very valuable. This is a diamond. People look at us. People go back and research us and see what we're doing. You just almost like made a landslide for all the product that we've been putting out on this show and in the presence of a lady. You lacked respect. And you went and did some cornball stuff, just like you did with Ruth. And I think you're bigger and better than that. And that's why I continue the conversations with you. I'm not gonna say you're beneath me mentally anymore. I told myself I would stop doing that. You understand? Because you're a good place in life, and you're in a good place in life. And you know what bothers me about you? Your buttons can get pushed easy. You have a nuclear family. You have a wife that loves you. You have beautiful kids. You've done a lot in this world. And at one point in time, in the back chat that I was saying in front of everybody, I kind of envy that. Because if my life would have played out a proper way, without the trauma, me not realizing what I needed in my life, rather than attracting bad things, I could have had what you had. And you do dumb shit like this that makes me want to spit. And the man is just trying to give you different points of knowledge. I didn't get to 52, which would be in a couple of months, from not bumping my head and making bad mistakes. But when someone is providing you with knowledge and parsing through what you did, you're not man enough to say, you know what, I concede. You did break it down to me. It did make sense. Even with a woman, beautiful lady came up here. She was able to, I was able to break it down to her, present your side, and she said, that's not how it goes. And you still fought that. And then at the end, you would offer Kenny disrespect. He's never disrespected you. No matter how he's asked for your patience so he can get his off. But guess what he did tonight?
Are you done?
And that's what you say. That means it don't penetrate that bald head of yours. You just want to be Bruiser.
I'm just asking you. You finished, so you don't feel like I'm disrespecting you for interrupting.
Come on, Bruiser. Come on, Bruiser.
No, I'm done when I hear you apologize.
I'm gonna take the high road.
Wait. I know. I want to see you apologize to Kenny.
Oh, first of all, I'm not gonna apologize.
All right, Jill. Good night.
No. I don't need anybody's apology, because the reason why I don't need anybody's apology is
y'all let me respond.
no, please don't apologize, because I don't do that.
I was gonna respond to Kenny. All right, this one thing y'all gotta know about me on here, man. I respect everybody. I don't try to call people names or anything like that. But when you come for me, I'm gonna address you the way I want to address you. You might not like the way I'm gonna respond, but that's how I'm gonna respond. If there's topics of discussions and everybody's asked for their opinion, everybody's asked to be here to give their opinion. And if nobody agrees with my opinion, you can agree to disagree. And that's what I tried so hard to do, was say, hey, look, I don't understand y'all. Maybe we should just agree to disagree. And that's when Sweeney came and cleared it up. And I said, okay, now I understand. But we had to go down this road. And that aggravated me. Yeah, sometimes my buttons can be pushed. But for the most part, I wasn't trying to go there with y'all. Bruce, I got no ill will towards any of y'all.
Bruce, I got one question for you.
No, hold on, sweetie. Let me ask Bruce. Let me ask Darwin something. Because I'm eating my Captain Crunch and I'm watching and listening. I saw you try to agree to disagree. It's like they didn't want to agree to disagree with you. You tried to do it. They didn't want to do it. And you clearly said, yo, I don't understand where y'all coming from. I got it when you said it. I don't know why other people didn't get it. But here's the thing I'm curious about. At Kenny, and I hope I'm saying that right, there may be a language barrier from his natural homeland dialect to English. And so when he heard you say, I don't understand where you guys are coming from, he thought it was more of a dialect thing where you were trying to understand more of a principle thing. And so when Kenny came and said, hey, man, you know what? I've heard you kind of like do that before on another show and you did it tonight. And it's almost like you kind of like maybe you don't understand what I'm saying or how I'm saying it, or maybe my English isn't as clean as you like it to be. But when you say you don't understand me, you don't have to do that. You kind of disrespecting me when you do that. Now, Darwin, I know you're smart enough to know that that's what he was saying. And when he said that to you, you understood. You asked him, was he finished? And then you said, well, that wasn't what I was doing. I tried to agree to disagree with y'all. Y'all didn't want to do that. I was really talking about the principle that I didn't understand. It's not, I understood. I heard you clearly. I didn't understand your principle, but now I'm saying, fuck what you talking about. And I'm just curious, as old man Shan, why go there? If of all the different places you could have went, Soldier, why would you go there when you knew what Kenny was really trying to say?
Well, the only reason why, but just take that as a grain of salt, first of all. The only reason why I went there, because I wanted them to know how it would feel when I really am on that type of time, when I'm really on the fuck what you saying. If you come at me like that, try to make me feel bad for something. First of all, I don't agree that I disrespected you. It was sort of aligned with what you just stated, Shan. But I only took that route to like, okay, look, you want to see what that is actually like? Okay, here it is. Here you go. Here you go. Have it. So yeah, it was petty, probably childish, probably immature, probably could have said something better. Probably could have just took the high road.
But it was more like, look, if I'm gonna dish you, this is what it's really gonna sound like.
Yeah. If I'm gonna dish you, this is what it's really like.
Isn't it along the same lines of like the guys back in the day when they did the Christian panel, when the guy was like, money isn't everything. What do you mean money isn't everything? And like, isn't that a masculine thing what you guys are doing? Or is there a limitation on like, because I thought, I mean, if somebody's being condescending to you, I mean, like, is there a borderline where you just let them dump all off on you? Or like, do you stand up for your own self? Or
I think
it depends.
It depends on. You have to know.
Go ahead. Answer, Sweeney.
You have to know that. You have to be able to decipher that, because if there's a misunderstanding, acknowledge the misunderstanding. You don't then double down and be like, oh, well, I acknowledge that I misunderstood you, or you misunderstood me. But now I'm gonna say, fuck your couch anyway. Like, that's how you wind up down the road of disrespect. Because then you disrespect him, then he disrespects you back, and now y'all talking about some I see you in traffic.
Catch me outside.
Yeah.
Like that whole dialogue, like it didn't have to go there because there was a clear misunderstanding. It was like, and I mean, Bruce admitted, he was like, yeah, I was being petty. I was being petty on purpose.
So then why are you still talking about it, Sweeney?
Because I wanted to shoot my shit, because I'm a world-class hater, goddammit. And I hate when we do hateful shit, because that's my job. I'm supposed to be the hateful nigga on the panel.
I think the most important thing to take from this is everybody's not gonna
man, hey,
man, you corny.
Appreciate that, Sweeney. Everybody ain't gonna understand. Everybody's not gonna agree with what you say on this panel. I think that's the reason why we have multiple people to get multiple perspectives. Otherwise, it'd just be one motherfucker on here talking. So I think it's interesting to see where everybody's mindset is in. What their culture, their background, all that stuff. Notice whenever y'all say what y'all say, if I will challenge you, but I would never tell you that you need to concede, because I just explained to you how you were wrong. I still reserve the right to decide whether I want to do that, or I can just stand on what I believe. And I think that's where the ball is being dropped. We got to be able to say, okay, look, that's what he believes in. That's how he see it. That's very interesting to me. Somebody else has a different mindset than me. Wow. We are different. We are unique. And then we just move on to the next topic. And I think we've been doing that. It's just sometimes it's certain topics or questions that we talk about, people are more passionate about it. It kind of hits them a little bit more on the sensitive side, where it's a need for you to concede, or it's a need for you to take the same understanding of them. And all I want y'all to know is that in my case, that I'm just not going to be able to do that. Unless I'm able to find that research. And there's sometimes where I will do it if I believe that's the understanding I need to embrace. But if it's not, then you can't kill me for it. And you can't say I'm disrespectful, condescending, or whatever, or I'm not willing to, whatever. I'm just going to stand on what I believe, and I expect you to do the same. We can agree to disagree and move on. And I think if we continue to do it like that, then we'll be good.
I don't think anybody has a problem with you being 10 toes down on what you believe in, because, you know, man, you've had that experience before. Your ass do not know how to concede the facts, and it is what it is. I think where it goes off the rails is when you say things like, well, now I am saying fuck your couch, nigga. Like, that's when you kind of like, hold on, bro. Did you have to go there? Like, I get that you said, hey, look, I really don't agree with you, and it is what it is. But when you say, hey, look, now I really am going to tell you fuck everything you talking about, it's like, did you have to do that?
Well, I will say this. I admit that that's probably an area I need to work on. When somebody try to tell me that I'm doing something that I know I'm not doing, and they mischaracterize me, I feel mischaracterized. Oh, you're a liar. No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Oh, no, you did lie. Okay, well, fuck it. Yeah, I lied. You get what I'm saying?
I missed a lot, man. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
We having a meta conversation right now.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of stuck here, and we can move on if y'all want to.
I'm just how do we get it? Go ahead, the wife podcast.
No, I'm just trying to think of how that relates back, how you guys were talking about having those conversations, and like how maybe how women, you know, they get on the offensive, and, you know, the guy doesn't really necessarily stand up and he just concedes, and she seems right in everything, you know, but when does he step in and say, like, no, this is, no, I have to check you too. Like, you're being disrespectful. So I was just trying to think about, you know, how that plays into bringing it back to Tia and the situation with social media and how that's all mixed in with women, and, you know, how everybody just thinks they're right all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to work my gears up here.
I think when it comes, I think Akine was kind of right when he said that you can't, what can you say to him? The reality is you can't say shit to none of these women that want to walk away from their situation, throw caution to the wind, do everything that they do under the sun, and nobody can tell them to do nothing. The only thing you can do is exactly what's happening to them right now, because what are they doing? They're on social media complaining about why ain't nobody checking for them. Because the reality is that's how she wound up with the nigga with the grill on the table. That is her results. The nigga who wears gold grills and wraps them up in napkins at the dinner table. That's her lane. So yeah, she gonna run into a whole lot of those. That's your console. That's your lane.
And I would argue, Sweeney, that even though that's her consequence, even if she was in a culture where we shamed everybody for divorce and breaking the family up, it would not matter, because somebody that don't care about breaking their kids up like that definitely ain't gonna care about what nobody else thinks.
Oh no, she that
absolutely.
And that's why I think I'm gonna be real with you, bro. That's why I think the story fake, because it's entertainment. She had the generic island music playing in the background. She had like it sounds like she's just trying to tell her. She's trying to be like I personally believe the whole reason why she left her husband was because she wanted to start this social media shit. She wanted to have her social media career. She wanted to have her TikTok, and kind of they stars did not align in that department. And so
I agree with you. Check this out. I think women's empowerment kind of denigrates women with full families. I think part of women's empowerment is part of them doing it on their own to really be it's like being a rapper from the suburbs. If you got a family, like it takes away from your achievement.
So in order for you to be empowered and have a strong social media, you got to have a tragedy story,
or you have to have done it on your own. You don't need nobody saying, "Oh, your husband helped you. You not like us," or you don't got the same struggles as single moms out here. So what we do and what you know what I'm saying?
JRQ to
So
I'm mobile right now.
So Sweeney, saying what you just said, do you feel like she's having a good dating life, even if it's not with the grills guys?
I don't think
you think she's having a good time dating.
I don't think it's about that.
No,
well, she just want a story to tell.
But is that a yes or a no?
No, I don't.
I don't think she has a dating life at all.
She
No, I
doesn't have. She
don't
thinks
think.
whatever
Be
she's
honest,
getting
like,
online is
does
going to
she
translate
really
to real life, and that's
really
not.
look like the type that'll wind up with a nigga who puts grills and napkins on tables. Like, seriously, Tia Mowry up in the Hampton Hills look like she will wind up with a man that puts grills and wraps them up in napkins and sits them on a dinner table.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Well, if I had to,
let's talk about the homegirl from earlier. If we talking about Simmons, right? What's she round up with?
But that's my point. They like, if you like niggas like that, you gonna like all of the, like, the grill shit wouldn't have been a problem. If you dating a nigga that'll wear a grill, you knew he was a nigga that'll wear a grill. Just like if you date a nigga that go outside and hang out on the block, you kind of know this nigga hangs out on the block. It don't be like, oh, I caught this nigga in a suit and tie downtown at McCormick and Schmidt coming out his Bentley, and I'm just so surprised he'll take me out on the block. That ain't how that shit be working, bro.
But you don't go out and complain about the nigga.
Hold on, let JR talk.
Yeah, now, what I was gonna say is that, like, I do think she went out on a date, and I don't think that any man with a woman of her like social status would be able to make it to a date with her if she didn't know him or know of him. So I believe that the man she did go on a date with, she may not have liked him, and I think everything else might have been added just for her social media. So I don't think the grill really made a difference. I mean, maybe she really didn't like him and she just added, which is the reason why she didn't give a name. If she gave a name, then I think that we can really come to our own conclusions. But the fact that she posts a lot and she has to have an editor, even when she zoomed in on those, like them not videos she's doing just
off the cuff.
Yeah, off the cuff.
She didn't cut none of that.
There's some thought that's put into it. She's probably not doing the work. I'm pretty sure she has the means to be able to have somebody to animate whatever it is she needs to be, and she put it out there. She probably went on a date, but it's going to be hard for somebody to date her, especially with her being like a celebrity. Like somebody would have been talking if it was an average person. It would have got out there. Otherwise, somebody signed an NDA when they're going on a date with her, and they just can't say nothing. But I'm pretty sure everything is exaggerated. I don't think she's having an easy dating life, and it'd be hard for her to date anybody because her story's out there publicly.
You know, and then she giving recaps of the date and shitting on men. Like, I don't think that date is like.
Yeah,
so
if you go, only thing that was real about that date.
Well, she need content, just like we're content creators, at least some of us, right? We're content creators, so she needs some content to be able to put out there.
Damn,
like,
Sweeney, you ain't got to talk all night, Sweeney.
All night. Talk it all.
All night.
I just want to get this out, man.
I mean, but social media isn't a place that you should come to talk about your personal life and how you're trying to move dating. I thought that's something that you win in private, you win in public. You know what I'm saying? Like, women have ran to social media so much. You know everything. You know the color of the wallpaper. You know the dirty bottom of the feet. You just know everything because they just spill everything. And so how can you expect, social media, it's going to go viral. Everybody's going to share it. They're going to pop up on the red pill awareness. Is going to pop up on Black millionaires. It's going to pop up on these male channels because they're watching too, because they're laughing at her.
Well, you got to understand that she doesn't care because just as much as it's popping up on the things that we see, there's another sector of YouTube that's popping up where things sound great, and that might be what she's seeing. So I understand we're in this bubble, but this bubble is small compared to everything that's out there. So like we're not making, like, there are people that don't even know who Kevin Samuels is. So as big as he was to us, the other side, some people never heard of him. Who are you talking about? Never heard of him. I'm not talking about white folks. I'm talking about Black folks that have never heard of him because it just doesn't hit their feed. They're just not following the same type of content. Some people don't even have YouTube. So when you don't have YouTube, then how do you know about somebody? So just as much as we're seeing all the negativity that comes with it, we're seeing the O'Shea's, we see the MTR, we see all the people that do these reaction videos. There are people that are bigging her up. So she's going to continue to do it because that's what she's seeing. There are people, her fans, everybody that's sending her emails. She's not probably privy. She probably has no idea who the Lapeef Network even is.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This is where this is the men that she's gonna get. She's not gonna get anything better than her husband that she's hoping for. As you guys are talking about the grill, she's gonna have to come down. And look at Ebony Gay. She wouldn't even settle, and now she's doing things on her own. So of course they're just gonna go to the left, and they don't want to settle. They don't want a good average dude that probably is making $500,000 or whatever, because that's that small change or whatever.
So you think Shaq's
Yeah.
wife had to come down?
Well, in a essence, I mean, like to go from a celebrity to like a pastor. A pastor is not a celebrity. That's just a public service man. That's a man of God. That's like totally different.
I think she had to live in some sort of reality.
Yeah.
Like if she really wanted like a successful marriage, and not saying celebrities can't, but it's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of different elements that come into play.
Yeah, if she was multi-branded to other NBA players, then you would see her in a different light. But I think
I was gonna say, like even us, I'm pretty sure us being visible, and we're not like KS or some of the other high people, but even having some visibility, it comes with things. It comes with the good and the bad, and some people can't handle it. They don't want to deal with it. And so you got somebody like Shaq that has all these different stories coming out. Some people can't handle it. Some women can't handle it.
Right.
But the reason why I mentioned that, because I would argue that she did, whenever people say she can't be better, or you can't find better than the previous man or your husband, I would argue that if you look at the scenario, if you look at the situation she was in, where, he admitted that he was a womanizer. Not womanizer, but he was cheating, doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do and give a damn. I would argue that she did find love. You know what I'm saying? She did find a better situation. It might not be with the father of her children or whatever, but the outcome she wanted, she was able to get it. And if you look at it from that side, okay, what are the outcomes? What do you want? Are you able to get it? And she was able to get it. So I would say women are willing to take
here from LA that says she smashed her. You got the homie from, I forget what Crip gang he's from, but he said he smashed her 2 weeks before she got married. And she was in the club. Shaq's ex. Shaq's ex.
Okay.
So you saying she might found. Some people say, she found a simp. She found a dude that was just like, I'll take you for who you are because of your celebrityism. But she's out here with the homies, doing what she's doing to 14 days before she jumped the room.
Anybody as they are.
But you looking at the moral part of it. I'm just saying that what are the outcomes you want after moving on out of this marriage? And I think she was able to get it.
She found love thing. She found love and all of that. Man, it's a lot of this stuff is transactional all the way across the board, especially with women on like her. But in terms of Tia, I think Sweeney found something, because it's social media. It's a drug. It's a drug, and there's a lot of people, a lot of women particularly, that is throwing everything away just to be seen, just to get that attention, that dopamine hit when you get the likes and you get the follows and somebody DMs you and says you look sexy and all that kind of stuff. And girl, and then somebody else, I think it was Trev, that was saying, man, look, it's all women that's responding to it. So you got all this female wave of support, the whole legion of women that's backing you up and just backing you, that shit. And then you got all of that. And then you got a husband over here with his arms crossed, like, say, man, put that phone down. And he got to compete against her iPhone and his voice. And he's like, hey, put that down. We having dinner, or let's get the kids together. They got to go to school tomorrow, or, we got to do this. And she, being the breadwinner, I guess, maybe for their situation, I don't know. From what I understand, that he's doing pretty well as himself. So maybe she's not necessarily the breadwinner. But if he's trying to be the husband, and like the Wife School podcast is saying, look, there's a hierarchy and an order of things, and he's trying to establish that order at home, but she's wants to just go to Instagram and be able to get out of this ball and chain situation so she can go and be free and make up stories about going on dates with niggas with grills and get all those likes and not get that dopamine hit like a drug. They'll throw the whole relationship away. And it's
100% a drug. It's 100% a drug. I done seen people get on crack and lead their kids to whatever based off of chasing a high. What Jay say, I'm just a moth addicted to the flames. The game is a light bulb with 11 million watts. He was talking about fame. He was talking about fame. Or drug addiction. Addictions in general is real. And they will destroy a family. They'll destroy a family if you.
So social media has become one of the biggest vices known to man right about now.
Oh, my bad, Trev. I thought you was done.
No, go ahead.
I was about to say some ignorant shit. If you had something more profound to say, go ahead, say.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I really want to know which post was it? Which TikTok was it that made her say, "I'm walking away from this"? Like, I really want to know that. Like, what post did you make about your household? Or something that you said that was going on in your marriage that got the sisterhood in your corner, and you said, "Ooh, I can make a bag off of this shit."
Sweetie, one day I took my wife's phone, right? And I was because she don't use Instagram. She only got on Instagram so I could send her memes and little reels and shit, right? Don't got no picture of none of that shit. So she has never interacted with the algorithm. But check this out. I went to her explore page. 99% of that shit was your man ain't shit, how to leave your man. 99% of it.
Damn.
And she's never interacted with the algorithm ever. So I had to go and interact with love content to get that into her algorithm. I showed her while I was doing it. I'm like, look at this. She was like, yeah, I ain't never even opened that app. I'm like, that shit is crazy. I'm like, imagine, because I did this experiment when I was doing a real estate with some white boys that was in the office. I'm like, can y'all show me y'all timeline? The whole timeline was full with marriage and people getting married. Then I'm like, my timeline is full of ratchet shit. Like, and this was on Facebook. This was before the algorithm really hit. It was just the people that I knew from the hood that was popping in my timeline. It was crazy shit popping up on there. And I was just like, damn, I wonder how much this, and this was probably 12, 13, 14 years ago when Facebook was kind of decent, you know. The way that our lives get shaped and molded by this is literally having a mind control device in your pocket, and the weak will fall victim to it at every turn. If she fell down one of them holes of you need to level up. You went on 5 vacations. This girl right here went on 9. Grant Cardone bought his wife a plane. The comparison checks in. Especially if you got the type of personality where you've been one of them it girls or you were famous or popular in your youth. Childhood fame is a motherfucker. It scopes your mentality in a way where, and I dealt with this and known a lot of people that dealt with it as well, where your identity is tethered, like deeply tethered to making sure that you're seen in a public eye in a specific way. And the moment you're not, you will almost become depressed if you don't have something to ground you or put you in a position where you don't validate yourself through the opinion of others. And if you do that via social media, it's almost impossible for you to move through this life as a complete human being without trying to make sure you do everything that everybody else wants you to do and be the person that other people want to see. So one of them holes of you can do better mixed with it's popping out here, girl, at women's empowerment mixed with are you a single mother that's in a marriage content mixed with your kids do better if you're happy. The number one indicator of happy children is if their mother is happy. So if I take their father away from them and I don't be around them at all, as long as I'm happy, I'm doing what's best for my kids, turn into an algorithm, you will destroy your fucking children's lives. You think you're doing the right thing because you went through a stupid algorithm.
Okay, we might get
at some
Marcus
point
to
you
the dark
did
side.
do
We might
something.
get Marcus over to the dark side
Marcus,
eventually.
you said you sent her memes and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did she open them?
Oh yeah, she opened them.
Okay, she interacted with the algorithm.
No, she hadn't up until that point. She hadn't up until that point. So she had to no. So I said, hey, you gotta get on Instagram. And so I could send you this stuff because I was sick of sending it to the text message and she couldn't see some of that stuff. So I was like, you got to get on there. So before that was like when she initially opened an account. It was a brand new spanking. Matter of fact, just do this.
You set her up.
No, nothing popped up yet, unless they got some metadata from I don't know. But just you.
She probably had a burner account you didn't know about.
No.
What happened is this: in terms of technology, right? It was her gender and her age.
Yeah.
So what happened is that on internet, right? People around her age and her gender have popularity. They have traffic. So as soon as she created her account, right, they push that traffic because that's her age bracket and her gender. So they push that traffic that people around that age and bracket view a lot.
That makes
so
sense.
they start from there, but as soon as you start clicking on something other than that, which you exactly did by manipulating the software, as soon as you started clicking other things, guess what? Then now they shifted it based on percentage of click. Because it goes by percentage of clicks.
So Akina, every morning they I get sent like a I love you type of post. So the interaction with that changes that algorithm. I haven't looked at it in a while. I'll probably look at it tonight and see what it looks like.
Well, we already know
should be better.
that when they created this type of machine, the damage it would do. But
no, we didn't know.
Capitalism keeps your pocket full. Oh, they know very well. If you go to these very expensive institutions where you're smart and you can develop algorithms and things like that, and you're like, wow, this has the potential to be great, and you let that. Why do you think the man ended up in court so many times? Because they knew the dangers of this type of algorithm, the machine learning. And also, like Mr. Sweeney had said, going back to when you said you wonder when the pinpoint of Tia making that transition. I saw the transition, really the uptick when people started logging on to social media and TikTok was when we had the jab, the pandemic. So that's where you've seen a lot of people separating. That's when you see a lot of people running to social media because they were bored. They didn't necessarily interact with their husbands and wives and children. So now we got everybody dancing. Hey, we're doing the trends. Oh, we bored. So some people didn't transition back from that. A lot of stuff fell apart during that time. A lot of people didn't want to go back to work. A lot of people, marriages fell apart. Now your kids are addicted to it. Now you try to take the phone, they're tearing up your whole house. So during that time, it really did a psychological switch on us. And now we going full head on to this AI, and you have the machines learning. So they're gonna pump that stuff in your feed, in your timeline, and it's all going to be different. And it's very awesome to know that other cultures, even the culture that developed the TikTok, they don't put their kids on that social media. They're very limited. We're addicted. They know, but the discipline in the home and the structure in the home that they have, they're very limited too. And so you wonder where they put their attention to. They centered around their personal family in real life time and their studies. And so, okay, now those people can still develop systems to keep us, oppressed and their pockets lined.
Nope,
and we should just detox from it. I looked up online. There's a phobia that developed from electronics, like your personal phone. It's called nomophobia. So learn this: nomophobia, fear without being with your phone. Fear with it dying, uncharged, and wondering like, oh, I wonder what, fear missing out. It's a phobia now because
what's it called? Video, y'all. Charge your phone and don't check social media for days. If it wasn't for the people that talk, I probably never would have went on Instagram.
There's another side of the algorithm, Marcus. When you was talking about a friend or relative, I don't know what it was. There's another side of the algorithm that a lot of people don't know. Just simply, if she came in here, she never clicked on anything, and you never shared anything to her. If she followed or friended any of the guys that are looking at trending content or algorithmic led content, she's going to get that. The algorithm is going to be like, okay, so she's friends with JR, Sweeney, Shannon, and Trev. Look at the content they like. Maybe she'd like this content as well. So you don't even have to sit. You don't even have to sit or nothing. You just got to be your friend, and she's gonna be exposed to a whole nother tree of different content that the algorithm is gonna push in front of her.
I think
you got to be careful who you follow as well.
I think you and Akine both right in that regard, because it's a certain age group, certain demographic, probably the information she put in, and her friends, because I think it linked like your contacts in your phone, right? And she do have single friends that she grew up with since childhood, so that could have been the push for that.
Hey y'all, so y'all remember how I said I was just trying to find a video that made Tia Mowry switch, right? I found the video. And I'm gonna say this: before this video, all her biggest videos and most popular videos was with her husband. And then she dropped this. Damn, my nails disgust me.
Got that attention, boy.
9.8 billion views.
Look at the date and tell me what year it was.
9/19/2020.
You got that attention,
my
boy.
That was the video and she got 9.8 million views on that video, and I think that's when it was all downhill.
And look, it looked like her nipples was popping a little bit through it, and a little cleavage. She might have got some comments about her body, and she felt she was out here. So you ruined your kid's life for some nipple comments. What a fucking year.
You know one thing, we as men have to be sensitive about one thing. If your woman is 37 years old or 38 years old, right? Start watching out, because from that age, women go downhill in terms of insecurity, emotional switch. So many shit go through their body and mind. I'm telling you for real, though. Shannon, I'm for real. They go downhill from there. And guess what? They seek attention from you non-stop. And if you can give them that attention, they start going outside, both directly or indirectly. The highest divorce rate is around that age now. In this internet age, is around that age. Like almost every woman that I know that have divorced are all in their early or close to mid-40s. So we as men, we got to be careful. We got to start paying attention, man, because these women. Oh no!
Yeah,
I'm
no,
done talking.
No, you gotta. I do believe in complimenting your woman or your wife. And like, so I won't even date nobody if my validation ain't the top priority. Meaning, like, if everybody tell you look nice in something and I don't like it, and you continue to wear it because everybody told you look nice in it, I can't date you seriously. But if I tell you I like something, everybody tell you it's ugly, and you wear it because I like it, I could take you seriously. That's kind of one of the metrics I run through my head. Like, I need to supersede what other people think in your brain. Like, if that doesn't occur, I can't date you for real. We can only have sex.
Absolutely. Well, it depends on her mindset too. Like me, I always try to keep a Bible. And I mean, it goes all the way back to the beginning. It was flattery. She knew doggone well what God and her husband told her not to do, not to touch, don't even look at it. But the flattery, oh, you won't die. Don't you know that now I'm putting more ideas in your head. Now I'm feeling like, wow, well, maybe I could, do something here. I want to know a little something. And we take the bait all the time. And it just brings down, it has a domino effect. So now we in social media. So now that's thousands of people validating me. And so now my husband, his like you said, his ideas and his feelings towards me is minuscule. So okay, you're just not doing it. Now I'm getting a therapist, because that was a play in there too. A lot of the therapy is to the detriment of the home too, because both people may not be there. She may be showing up. That therapist may be validating herself and not really pointing her towards her marriage and saying, hey, honey, maybe it's time to graduate, because that's where I thought she got the idea from, is from a therapist. I don't usually hear anybody normally say like, oh, girl, just graduate. Normal people don't talk like that.
I don't think therapists are allowed to tell you to graduate from your marriage or divorce.
Ayanna Van Zant hinted at it strongly back in the day. Like I've seen her do that on some of them shows. Like I think you're right, Darwin. They can't instruct you specifically on what to do with your life, but they can. Like you could ask a line of questioning to lead somebody down a path. Especially, like I kind of noticed with some people, right, that feel like a certain prototype of man is domineering in their mind. They immediately associate that with being abusive. They don't just see that as being, oh, this is a strong type of man who commands this type of respect in his house. They associate that with being abusive and feel like she needs to escape in some way, even though she's happy and it's not abusive. But the way they view relationships are so equal that both people should be able to be on the same wavelength and talk at each other and fight each other however they need to. And there's an equal balance of power. The problem with that is that's always going to end in a divorce. And those people will always be single.
On a more serious note, I'm going to say this, that like I was just joking with that video, even though but I really truly believe that she might have what did y'all say, that one of the 4 pillars of happiness is work? And I think it's no secret that the last show she was on was Family Reunion that ended in 2022. And the very next thing she did was like go to social media to try to build up her social media presence. Because when you know that your career is on its last legs, you kind of try to find or draw happiness from other areas or try to rekindle that career and things like that. And what we do know is that a lot of people, specifically women, when they're unhappy in marriages, it don't have to have anything to do with the man at all. She could have honestly just been feeling like, well, you know what I mean? Okay, my career is done. So what can I do next? And he bore the brunt of that.
So y'all don't
Sweeney,
think
let me
none of the stuff
go
she was
ahead,
saying was
Bruiser.
true? You don't think none of the reasons why she walked away was true? We absolutely just think this woman is a liar.
Wait, what did she say?
In the last clip that JR played, she said that I think somebody on the panel said that he wasn't earning or he wasn't making money or something like that.
No,
I never said
that.
So she never gave reason why.
No,
she divorced him.
No,
that's why I keep saying if there's a reason that we don't know about, it maybe it makes sense. But with the information we're presented, it is extremely selfish.
And he doesn't.
Infidelity. And I put that on my page. He said it wasn't infidelity.
And he doesn't even know the reason why she left. Because if you look at the interview, he can't even come up with a reason. But this is what I'm trying to say about the lady herself. I think there is somebody that came to an advisor and started telling her to put out all these stupid ass comments. I'm sorry, clips. It's going to generate her more income. So this has to be done by a publicist. Then the next thing that I'm trying to say as well is this, right? Many of our mothers, especially here in the US and also in Nigeria, have destroyed our daughters. And I'll tell you why. I've seen so many women tell their daughters, make your own money. Make your own money. Don't rely on your husband. Make your own money. Men don't really have the intention to ever starve their wives of cash or access to money or resource. Men generally don't do that. But when you have a woman that have had access to money, and now she's going down, and now her career or age is going to affect her level of income, they will do something that she did. They will try to take a drastic step, even if that's going to destroy her marriage, because she doesn't ever want to be under the financial assistance of a man.
I think Gabrielle Union like that. She said something like that about making sure she pays bills with D Wade. But that's why I be so vehemently, like at the end of the day, I think when people get together and create children, that should be the focus. That's why I'm against leading with your wallet, because if your income changes or your job changes or the market changes or the industry changes, that breaks up your family. That's too much risk. Like I can't accept no risk like that.
Believing with your wallet is not only money if it gives you any ease of mind. But somebody said that, I think Kenny said, men don't typically tell their daughters to go out and make their own money or something like that. That might be quoting you. Did you say something along those lines?
No, I said that men usually will tell their daughters to make money, but men usually prepare their daughters for marriage. But women, our mothers, will tell their daughters to make their own money and not rely on a man. Go to school and don't rely on a man. Go get yours and don't let a man make that money for you because of that fear of that a man is going to control your life if he supports you financially. You see what I'm saying? But men generally don't have that kind of heart. Men don't starve their wives off. Some. Go ahead.
Hold on. I just wanted to respond to that real quick. I understand what you're saying. I want to believe that men typically don't tell their daughters not to rely on, or men typically tell their daughters to go and get married or whatever. But every time I have an interaction with a guy who has a daughter, these past few years as a creator, as a consultant, every man I've talked to that has a daughter has been telling me that he's been telling his daughter to be self-sufficient and be independent, go to school and go to college. So when you make statements like men typically don't do that, that sounds good. I wish that were the case, but I think over here in America, guys as fathers, you would think that a lot of these guys in the manosphere would do that, but that ain't even the case.
But I was gonna say to your point, Bruce, I was gonna say to Bruce's point, he's actually right. As a father, because it's not your job to tell your daughter to go out there and get married. That she's honestly supposed to learn that from her mama. She's supposed to learn how to be a wife from her mama. She's supposed to learn she's supposed to learn like what a husband needs or why she needs a husband and all of that from her mother. We as fathers, we're naturally protective of our kids. We're naturally protective of our daughters. We see the whole world as evil tide when it comes to we don't see no man as worthy. So when we talk to our daughters, it really is a go out there and get we teach our daughters to be strong for themselves, but it's the mother's job to teach the daughters to be soft.
Right.
But I would argue that it's the father's job to help her vet and position herself to be a wife.
No, you would vet
and
her.
every man is trying to. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
You would vet for her husband. You would vet to make sure that she has the right man, but you can't teach her how to be a wife.
Absolutely.
Well, what I'm saying is, so for example, if I have a daughter, when I plan on having a daughter, because that's the last attempt I'm gonna make to try to have a daughter. I got 2 boys now. I want a daughter. If I do, if God bless me with a daughter, I'm gonna cover her until she get married. So I'm not gonna be compelled or motivated to send her into college or any of those things. If it be anything to learn or anything to be certified or skilled in, it would be things that would help her become a suitable wife to a man traditionally.
This is what does. This is what does.
I would cover her as long as I could until she decided to deviate. Once she deviate, then I don't have any covering over her. But I hope it never gets to that.
It's the parents' job to push their children to the max of themselves. I mean, there's children in other cultures, they're small and they know like 3 languages. And we talking about we can't even barely get anybody to cook rice. We can't even keep our families together. So how could anybody be pushed to their full potential when our families are broken? You know what I'm saying? But look at Tia, she's breaking the family. So like that disjointedness subconsciously gets in that child's head that, okay, I seen this happen. Okay, they were together. Now that daughter may say, well, I seen my mom and dad break up. So now she had to do things on her own. So sometimes things we do affect children subconsciously. We don't even have to say anything, but you're supposed to push your children. I see every day, Asian or whatever, they go to school, boys and girls. And you know what they have? They have families and they talk, they have communities and they marry each other and they do very well. And their wealth is good. And they keep the family things going because that's how they do it. And there's
There
nothing,
is
and I see them juggle it all the time. They're very strict with school, and they make the kids do family things. Everything is surrounded around the family. So naturally, you're juggling both things and prioritizing both things at the same time. So you're being very efficient. So I don't know why we cannot replicate the same thing, but it
there is
starts staying together.
to add to what you just said right now. This is what I was trying to say earlier. That will also help this conversation, and to answer, and that's to also add to what Bruce has said earlier. The way it's done is this, right? A man is supposed to prepare his daughter for marriage in terms of academy and welfare contribution towards her family. Like, let's say in Nigeria, right? Our girls go to school at a very large, a higher rate, or close to high rate compared to the men. The men go to school more than the women in Nigeria. But what happened is that the women also go to school. But what the fathers will do is to make her go to school, contribute for her to go to school, so that she will get a suitable man that will take her, because she's bringing something to his family. So he's preparing her for his grandchildren and to bring something to the table. You know how they say here, why am I bringing something to the table? In Africa, you as a wife have to bring something to the table. So what are you bringing to the table? Your degree. Because your degree is telling your husband that you're not coming to his house to just sit down doing nothing. So that's why your dad is making you attractive to a husband. So when you get there, you bringing something to the table.
Wake up,
And
Shannon.
in case if something goes bad with his business or whatever he has going on, you can carry the family.
Also,
I agree with that, and we got
homeschool,
to start to bring this to a close too, y'all.
to homeschool the kids academic as
Yeah,
well. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
We're gonna go ahead and end this, man. But before we do, I think context matters. Man, it was an excellent point, like Ikene, because so often we have these discussions, and a lot of shock value is that when a woman has an education, then she wants to be independent on her own. But if you dial it back and you fine tune it, it don't necessarily have to be a bad thing. You know, if you are applying logic to it, right? I mean, nobody wants a dumb wife. Nobody wants a dingy wife. Nobody don't wants a wife that if you have to step away to handle other business, that she can't really hold down the fort while you're gone, right? So I think it starts young. I think there's different elements and pieces that you have to place in your daughter in order for her to have balance, her to know when to use those skills. You know, me, I can go out here in the world, and when danger comes, I know what to do. Now, am I using those skills all the time? No. I have total control on when to be able to exercise, when I need to use aggression. And same thing with a wife. She doesn't have to be combative. She doesn't have to be aggressive. But if she needs to slide in or she needs to fill in the gaps, then she can. But I think a lot of times, due to the world and exposure and society, and a lot of times the parents are hurt. And that's the root of the problem, is that the parents have gone through things and they have not been a good parent to those kids. They may have done the best that they could, but when you look at it from the bigger picture, they could have done better, and they failed the child. And now the child has to try to figure it out from this point on, because they didn't have the idea upbringing, which a lot of households don't have. So we really got to go to the root. I don't think it's a bad thing for somebody. I have a daughter, so I'm sitting here like, I want to have balance. And I think the best example that she's going to get with that balance is through the mother and the father. So having a mother and father is conducting themselves in a relationship, or whether they co-parenting, is going to say a lot. You know, does my daughter respect me? Does she respect how I'm moving? Is she able to receive the information that I'm telling her? Like when I'm in the car with her and I had these conversations about young men, is she even listening? because I'm giving her the game. I'm telling her every single thing that she needs to know. I'm opening myself up to whatever it is that you need to speak to me about. Come talk to me. I want to prepare you so that you know what to expect. I tell her about protecting her jewels, how her jewels is everything. Kids are they're growing, so you're not gonna stop them from growing. They're gonna be attracted to somebody. So instead of running away from it, attack it head on and just let them know, like, I want you to be married. Like, these are the things that I see for you. I'm gonna make sure that I protect you and make sure I look after you until I give you away. But I'm not gonna just give you away to anybody. But she has a mother that's a great example. So it starts there. That's why when we vet the mothers that we have for our daughters and our sons, we got to make sure that they fit. So, if you created some kids and you got a full of shit mother, then it's gonna be a harder job for you to do. But if you vet it properly and you got you a good wife or you have a good mother of your kids, then it's gonna make your job much easier. I don't have a problem as far as being a good example on the mother side. All right, with that being said, man, I know it ran over time. I know Shan is it's still early over there. Shan, what time is it? It's probably about 12 o'clock now. 11? Oh yeah, you good over there, man.
11:14.
Like the rest of us, man. I think Trev, what you about 3 o'clock? No, 2 o'clock? 2:14 over there?
2:14, yeah.
Yeah, 2:14.
Same over here. Same over here, man. 11.
Yeah, and one. It's been a good one, man. So let's go ahead and end this. The Wife School podcast. I appreciate you coming up. I know it's King Talk. I just kind of open it up on the back end. Your perspective is much needed. All right, Deacon, thank you for pulling up too, brother. Let's make sure we support each other. Make sure we follow everybody. Hit that like button on your way out. Y'all be safe out there. Until next time, we out.